with Fast Track Cannabis Clinics of America. You're talking Tampa Bay's #1 choice for compassionate care with business professionals. Discreetly begin your road to relief by dialing 813-358-CARD or visit www.mycannabiscard.com. That's 813-358-2273. And make sure to tell them that Al Keck sent you for $30 off new patient enrollment. Ask about military and senior discounts. Fast Track Cannabis Clinics of America. With uncertainty at an all-time high, securing what matters most has never been more important for your home or your office. Prevent disaster and make life easier. Try a security and home automation system from Alarm Engineers, Inc., Tampa's trusted leader for more than 30 years. State-of-the-art security systems, award-winning monitoring, and now full-spectrum smart home solutions. Alarm Engineers, Inc. has everything your home and office could possibly need and will work with any budget. Book a free security or smart home consultation today. Call 813-948-4000. That's 813-948-4000. And get your first month free by telling them Al Keck sent you. Alarm Engineers, Inc.
Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of your evolution of Sports Talk Television live here on NSPN and I Love St. Pete. It's the Sports Web. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And how do we start off this show on a happy hump day Wednesday night? Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we'll have ABC Action News' own Mr. Denis Phillips getting on with us, talking about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers after a decisive victory over the New York Giants, 30-10 to go to 7-3. Of course, the Colts are on Sunday. We'll have it all covered for you live here on NSPN. I Love St. Pete from Ducky Sports Lounge, 1719 West Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. We'll be on with your pregame, half, and postgame edition. Get you started probably about noon on Sunday. We will have Harry the Greek of 1252 Sports, professional handicapper extraordinaire, and the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Vid Sports Mag, and again, Night Sports Production. So really quick, it is still victory week. How you feeling, Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling confident? There was some injury news today. We will get to that in just a moment. We'll get to Denis. We'll get to Harry, but want to go out to these comments really quick. Look at this and the big news for the Sports Web, for the evolution of Sports Talk Television. We are officially monetized, my friend. Officially monetized here on YouTube. Really appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without you guys out there, the webheads, the fans. Really appreciate it. And I got to share this. This is really awesome. Whoop, whoop. I like that. Sandra, thank you. Christopher Cole. And look at this. Happy Thanksgiving, bro. I love you. That's $100 in the chat there. Roger Shue, you've just made my night, my friend. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you. $100 just like that from Roger Shue, the tribal troll in the house. And of course, he gets on the super chats there. If you want to contribute money, you can absolutely do that. The thing is, it's good news because we are monetized on YouTube, which I'm proud. And it's been a 9-year struggle to get there, but we're finally there. This show used to be called The Spider's Web. And then, true story, I went to Pat Donovan of 620 WDAE 95.3, and he suggested I change the name to The Sports Web. And there you go. We changed the name to The Sports Web. We're now monetized on YouTube. The thing is, we can't use any copyright music because I don't want to take any chances of getting that money taken away. I don't want to give my money to somebody else. So what we will do is, if you call into the show, send me a link on Facebook or YouTube of the music you want to use. It has to be royalty free, of course, so we don't get kicked out, if you will, from YouTube. Let me go out to Roger Shue really quick. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you, bro. Love you too, brother. Appreciate it. And you just sent me $100. Just like that. Monetization is a beautiful thing. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Appreciate you. We'll be talking about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's go ahead and get this guy on. We got different theme music, if it's even music at all. Here we go. Denis Phillips of ABC Action News. Here we go. That is a tornado siren right there. Tornadic activity is in the area. Mr. Denis Phillips of ABC Action News. Welcome to the evolution of sports talk television. I love to play the safety dance, but the great news for me today is that this show is officially on YouTube and it is monetized, my friend. So
well, that's awesome. If that dude's sending out $100 bills, send one over this way too. What the heck?
Man, that's a great buddy of mine, and I'm surprised. I'm speechless at this point. When I'm speechless, I just got $100 for coming on the show here, and that's the future of the evolution of sports talk television. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Getting ready for Thanksgiving, and of course, it looked like Daniel Jones the other night was in the giving mood. In fact, the Giants were in a giving mood. Talk about that big win by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go to 7-3 on Monday Night Football, 30-10.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said 34-10. I mean, yes. Tampa Bay fans have a history of when things start to go just slightly awry, they kind of have a tendency to go overboard. And maybe sports fans in general, but I know Tampa fans are definitely involved in that. And, the last couple of games prior didn't go that well, but come on. I mean, granted, the Giants have some serious offense problems, which is why they fired their offensive coordinator. But, I'm looking forward. I cannot wait to see if the Bucs defense can slow down Jonathan Taylor. Because, the Bucs have a great run defense, and he's a great running back. So that of maybe any matchup I've seen the entire year, I'm looking forward to seeing how they do against Jonathan Taylor. I really am.
Yeah, and that's the matchup that everybody is looking at this point. And, of course, the Colts are 6-0 when Taylor goes over 125 yards. Anything under that, and you've got the record that you got, of course. You're 0-5, which is amazing in itself. And, of course, now that run defense did a good job of shutting down Saquon Barkley, 6 carries for 25 yards. In your opinion, with possibly Vita Vea back, that's what BA was saying today, can this rush defense do enough to shut down Taylor and that potent rush defense of the Colts?
Yeah, I mean, shut him down, I don't know. I mean, usually a really stout defense is going to do better against a really good offense than vice versa. I mean, they're a really, really strong rush defense, and I would think that Taylor is not going to have one of his games where he's knocking off 5 touchdowns like last week, which is really not much of a bold prediction. But I don't know. Like I said, I cannot wait to watch this. And you talked about why the Colts are so successful when he does well, because then you don't have to depend on Carson Wentz. Yeah. I mean, Wentz has been okay this year. He's had some moments, and he's had some horrible moments as well. Their receiving core, Michael Pittman's solid, but outside of that, you got Pascal, you got Hilton, who's been hurt most of the year. So there's really nothing else out there, and nor is there a second or third down back. I just think that at the end of the day, their offense lives and dies by Jonathan Taylor, and that kind of plays into the Bucs' strength because the Bucs have a much better run defense than a pass defense.
They really do, and that's what it comes down to. And again, the Bucs coming into this game only giving up 78 yards a contest, so that's the matchup. And if you got Vita Vea back, and you got Sue, and you've got all those guys, but on top of it, Nacho and Steve McClendon played well the other night. Talk about that line versus that Giants offense on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I mean, they were impressive. Saquon, that was his first game back. It's really hard to gauge. There was a play where he got tackled from behind, and he walked over to the sideline, and they were a little concerned that his ankle was giving him problems again. I'll tell you, to me, Tony is the guy. I love Saquon, and I think he still comes around once he gets healthy, if he gets healthy, because that's just the way he's been. But Kadarius Toney, Gator, I think has got just a ton of upside if you had somebody who could throw him the ball. So, but in terms of the Bucs D, they weren't really pressured that much. Daniel Jones will move a little bit. Yeah, I mean, but and he has his history of being pretty mobile and making some big plays, but they were just outclassed. I mean, the Bucs are just a superior team to the Giants. And again, they fired their offensive coordinator this week, so that kind of tells you that they were in a downhill mode anyway. I just can't wait to see how Taylor does against the Bucs. And my guess is, I think they hold him down under 100 yards. I think they do.
I think they do too. I think they're up for the challenge. I think this team has to prove that they can play well on the road, which is what they haven't done this year with being 2-3. And of course, at home 5-0. So, I mean, that's the difference in the point differential. Over 30 points at home, only 23.4. That's a tough Colts defense, but it always comes down to quarterback play. Carson Wentz, what have you seen out of him this year? And do you feel like if they do shut down a Taylor, that Wentz can win the game for the Colts?
Probably not. I mean, he's been an enigma. I mean, that guy, you just never know what he's going to do. I mean, and by the way, he was playing on 2 bad ankles at the beginning of the year, so the guy's tough. But at the end of the day, he just doesn't have a lot of offensive weapons around him. And when he came out of college, I thought he was going to be great. I mean, with the Eagles, he was amazing. I mean, that's the thing a lot of people forget. It was either his first or his second season. He had something like 38 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, or some ridiculous number. I mean, he was just an amazing quarterback. And then he got hurt, and I don't know if he ever came back right, but he's just never been the same guy since. And I think the Colts were waiting for him to become that guy again, because he's certainly done it in the past. But yeah, I don't think you want to ride on Carson Wentz to hope that you're going to get a victory. I think it's got to be a Taylor. I mean, even the backup, even Mack and Himes, they've just not really been that big. Now, last season, anybody who owned Jonathan Taylor in fantasy was probably ticked off because they just were not using him as much as a lot of folks thought they should. I mean, his percentage of carries on the field were about 60%. Now, over the last couple of weeks, clearly he's getting the ball more, and he's doing something with it as well.
And we're on with ABC Action News is Mr. Denis Phillips, meteorologist. But on this show, on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, he talks sports here live on this Thanksgiving Eve edition. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. We talked about the injury situation, which really not only hurt this offense, but also this defense. How different is this offense with Rob Gronkowski, not only as a pass-catching threat, but also as an end-line blocker?
I mean, the proof was the game, right? I mean, those first couple of games, they looked unbeatable. And, AB out and Gronk out obviously hurts. AB still out, and I've not heard how much longer he's going to stay out. But, getting Gronk back was a huge thing. And you're right. I mean, he seemed to be the go-to guy at times, him and Evans. I mean, again, and then Chris Godwin too. I mean, we've got such a deep receiving core, but when you lose two of your four stars, your tight end and your number 3 receiver, it puts a lot of pressure on Evans and Godwin to be the guys when you still don't have much of a running attack. And Lenny and Rojo, I mean, Rojo had a touchdown and Fournette had some moments, but again, this team is not going to go as their running backs go, like the Colts are. This team is going to go as Tom Brady and the receivers go. I mean, we all know that. So it's great to get Gronk back. Hopefully he can stay healthy. And what have you heard about AB? How long is he still looking?
AB has not practiced yet, but there was thought that, he may play on Sunday. Of course, now the Bucs dealing with some other injuries here. Mike Evans is dealing with tightness in his back. Of course, it happened later on in the game. And then Devin White with a quad injury, which is more of a concern for me because the way White has played over the last couple of games, not only making tackles, but getting after the quarterback. And you're going to need one of your best defensive players if you're going to be able to stop a Taylor. So those are the concerning things. It looks like Carlton Davis is going to come off the IR. Of course, he has 21 days to prove that he can come back. So they may get him back in the next couple weeks. Speaking of the back end, how good was it to have an SMB back?
Yeah, I mean, you just hope that this team rounds into shape as you get into the last couple of weeks of the season. I mean, because I think we all know it doesn't really matter that much where you're seated in the playoffs. I mean, home games are great, and if you have home field advantage, that's an awesome thing. And in the NFL, it's probably more relevant than in the NHL, because if you guys remember, I mean, for years and years, home ice advantage in the Stanley Cup playoffs has meant next to nothing. Matter of fact, wasn't it the Caps and the Lightning 2 years ago?
Correct.
3 years ago, when every single game was won by the road team in that semi. So it's not nearly as important. Clearly in the NFL it is, especially in the Bucs when they don't have to go north. I mean, Brady might like the cold weather, but I'm not sure many of the other players do.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day here, Dennis, is you don't want to go up north. You don't want Green Bay to get that number 1 seed, so you still want to fight for it. Let's talk about this. There was some, once again, underdogs. Minnesota beating the Green Bay Packers. First and foremost, were you surprised by that? Our own Harry the Greek of 1252 Sports was saying, you know what, it's going to go over and it favors Minnesota. How surprised were you by that result?
What I was ticked off about is I had an in-play game on the Vikings, and all they needed to do was score a touchdown, and they got down to the 2-yard line and knelt twice and then kicked the field goal. So that's all I remember about that game. That's all I'm interested in.
Well, I was with you. I had the 49ers over the Jaguars. I won that outright because it was over 6, so I won some money. Then I decided to put money on the Dallas Cowboys. I like Kansas City, but I took his advice. I took Harry's advice. I took Dallas. How surprised were you by that result? In fact, it looks like Kansas City, not only their offense, they got their offensive troubles figured out with the turnover situation, but their defense, namely a Chris Jones and, of course, a Frank Clark.
Yeah, they got their running game picking up a little bit, too, and that's something that you never really think about with the Chiefs. But, Darrell Williams, obviously, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire back, he looked good. Their running game the last 2 weeks now has looked really good. And that takes a lot of pressure off of Mahomes, because in spite of the fact that Mahomes is what Mahomes is, that's a lot to ask of one player when the rest of the team isn't performing. Even Kelsey was having some issues over the last several weeks. Yeah. But you've got a talented team that's rounding into form as we get into the last quarter of the season, and then all of a sudden they're working what they need to do as you get into the playoffs. So I'm with you, though. I was surprised. I thought Dallas would keep that game a lot closer than it was. Dallas is a team that is impossible to predict. Impossible.
Yeah, they're impossible, right? Because you have all these offensive weapons. You lose Amari Cooper to COVID. You have CeeDee Lamb that goes out with some type of injury. And then at that point, that offensive line, that was the most surprising aspect of that game. That defense kept them in it. They gave up some big plays, but not explosive plays, if you will. But the offensive line was one of the most disappointing, because they should have given half of their check to Chris Jones. He was absolutely dominating last Sunday.
Yeah, but look at what that team's done. They go up to New England. They beat New England in overtime. They get blown out, shut out by the Broncos, and then turn around. I mean, they are a team that I just cannot for the life of me figure out. I just can't, and they've got depth in receiver. Although they've had a lot of injuries too. Lamb had a concussion. I mean, they've definitely had their share of injuries as well. But Dak, it's not that he's been hurt. It's just that for whatever reason, there are some weeks where he looks horrific, and other weeks, like the Patriots game when he throws for 400 or 500 yards and he looks amazing. So I don't know. I'd hate to be a fan of that team because they'd be pulling your hair out. Whatever hair I got left, it wouldn't be around. So I think that in terms of that game, the Kansas City-Dallas game, I was really surprised. But anybody who's been in a survivor pool this year, I mean, let's be honest. How many folks are still standing? I doubt anybody. I mean, it's been ridiculous the last 2 or 3 weeks with all the upsets, including the way Buffalo got annihilated by Indy. I mean, the list goes on and on the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, how about Tennessee and the Texans? I mean, that's the best. That's clearly the best team in the AFC right now with all the wins they put together against great teams. And the Texans, but our own Harry the Greek was predicting this. He said that Houston would cover, and he even favored Houston in that game to have the upset. And sure enough, the Texans take care of business. And then on top of it, Adrian Peterson, not what he used to be, got cut this week. So how surprised were you by the Texans beating the Titans?
I was shocked. I also had them to cover, not because they were a decent team, but because I thought it was a good spot for Houston. In terms of Tennessee, just kind of looking ahead, I never expected them to win outright, though. I mean, never did. Tyrod Taylor gave him a little bit of a dimension that they hadn't had before, but yeah, I never saw that coming, and neither did obviously most folks who had them. We had a lock pool, and it had to start over because everybody already lost, and this was like about 200 people. And then half of them were out on Houston. I actually went with Cleveland last week just because I didn't think Detroit, after losing that game to Pittsburgh, the way that they lost, just a kick in the teeth. I did not think they'd be able to be up for that game, and they were, by the way. They played Cleveland tough. Now Cleveland has Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Apparently, they're both going to be back this weekend, and we'll see if there's anything left with that team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We will definitely see what's left of that team. And, of course, Thanksgiving coming up. Of course, happy Thanksgiving. First and foremost, turkey or ham or both?
Turkey. Ham is more of a Christmas, New Year's. We're actually more of a New Year's. We go turkey, and we deep fry our turkey. And you know what? I always thought that's got to be god-awful, horrific, right? Fried turkey is awesome. I have 6 kids. Every one of my kids loves the fried turkey better than anything else. I've smoked them, we bake them, the fried, and it's just so easy because you got like one of those, and not the kind that you put outside that it lights everything on fire, right? It's like, I don't know, you're not old enough for this, but they used to have these little things called fry daddies, and you put French fries in it, and you could cook them. Well, they make the fryers like a giant fry daddy. It handles up to a 20-pound turkey. You just stick it in with the Cajun juices and the butter and stuff, and you just throw it in there. You cook it for 60 minutes, and it's done, and it is amazing. Never dreamed that it would be, but every year we do 2 turkeys. We bake one or we smoke one, and we always fry one, and the 20-pound one is always fried. So we do turkey for Thanksgiving. We do standing rib roast for Christmas, and we do ham for New Year's. That's what our traditions are in our family.
All right, macaroni and cheese, because Matthew Judon of the New England Patriots had nothing good to say about mac and cheese. In fact, he said it doesn't belong at a Thanksgiving table. I'm like, what do you mean, Matt? I love homemade macaroni and cheese. Where do you stand on that? That's blasphemous, my friend.
I love mac and cheese, but I've never had it on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
I never have. No, we have the turkey. We have 2 kinds of stuffing, one with sausage, one without, because like my mom's a Southerner, and we never had mac and cheese, which is kind of surprising because you'd kind of think that's a Southern thing. We always have the fresh cranberry. Lauren St. Germain, LSG, our anchor at 3 and 4 o'clock. Her and I were debating. She likes the canned stuff where you get the slice on it. And I think that looks disgusting. I don't like that. But my mom used to make the fresh cranberries, and you take fresh cranberries, you mix it in with a little bit of orange peel, orange zest, and you put some sugar in, put it in the food processor, and it's actually really good. But we do that. We do the dressing, the stuffing, the mashed potatoes. We have like 6 different kinds of pie: key lime, blueberry cherry, carrot cake. I mean, the list goes on. And again, with 6 kids, we need a lot of food.
Chocolate cream, right? Chocolate cream pie?
We have chocolate cream pie. We've got, there's a place in Pinellas County called JJ Gandy's.
Okay.
Really, really great pie place, but they're closed now the week of Thanksgiving. They closed previous Friday and all of this week to let their employees off, which is awesome. But man, there used to be a line out the door come Thanksgiving to get those pies, and now you can't get them for Thanksgiving. You got to think in advance, and I'm not nearly good enough of a planner for that.
No, definitely not. We're on with Denis Phillips. What's the 7-day forecast looking like? Thanksgiving weekend here, Black Friday celebration. Everybody going crazy out there. Is it going to be really cold?
Here, let me see. You see the little graphic I got here? Wait a minute. Look at that. See the little turkey graphic? There it is. Here, hold on. There's tomorrow we're going to be in the low to mid 70s, maybe even upper 70s in a few spots. There's our weather graphic.
And cheese there, by the way.
So, by the way, look, this is Aunt Sunny, Aunt Sunny, and Uncle Gust. See, like wind gust, Gussie. So there you go. So I spent a ton of time. No, I spent no time at all. That was a previously made graphic. But no, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be 77, 78 tomorrow. Sunny, a few clouds later on. Another cold front comes on Friday. Going to move through in the afternoon. So maybe just like a brief shower for a few spots, not a big deal. But what it does do is bring another round of cold air. So on Saturday and Sunday, highs around 70, 71, lows in the 40s, maybe 30s in our northern counties. So we're gonna stay kind of chilly. Could see some rain Sunday night. One of the models says yes, one says no. It's too early to know for sure. That the low doesn't even exist yet. It's a forecast. It's supposed to develop in a couple of days, but I'm not really that sold on it. Tomorrow's gonna be a great day, but it's gonna be a lot warmer. Start in the mid-50s, end up in the upper 70s.
All right, and as I always say here, Floridians are a lot like Chihuahuas, if you will. They don't have the fur to deal with that coldness. So when you go outside, it feels good to me. But then again, you stay out there for a little while, it definitely starts to get cold. And once again, we're on with Denis Phillips of ABC Action News. So what do you think of these Thanksgiving games tomorrow? You have the Chicago Bears, who can't seem to beat a second or third string and I think he's a third string quarterback. I still can't believe Baltimore won that game after the greatness of Andy Dalton came in, led them back against the winless Detroit Lions. And the subplot, if you will, or the rumor going around is that Matt Nagy could be fired after this game. How do you see this game playing out? And do you think Matt Nagy gets fired after the game?
First of all, Detroit plays pretty hard.
Yes.
You know, they have not packed it in. They have been in most of their games. It's Thanksgiving. The Bears, I believe they're a 3-point favorite. We got to talk about the whole sportsbook thing that's coming up, that's going on too, because I find that really, really fascinating. And I'm sure there's some people here watching who have that app on their phone and still playing, even though they said you're not supposed to anymore. I find that fascinating. But I don't know. I mean, Justin Fields, they put all their eggs in Justin Fields' basket, and he hasn't performed. He's gotten a little better. There's not a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL that step right on the field and become superstars. Justin Herbert was kind of one of them. Mac Jones isn't a superstar, but he's a solid quarterback. You know, I think back in the days of Dan Marino and people who started as rookie quarterbacks and really turned that team around. I don't think that's Nagy's fault. I just don't think Justin Fields was quite ready to be that guy. It's not to say he's not going to be the guy one day, but I don't think he was quite ready. Clearly, he's had some flashes, but he hasn't run the ball as much as I think a lot of folks thought he would, myself included. Detroit, they play hard, and it's a Thanksgiving game, and I would not be the least bit surprised if Detroit pulls the upset. And then, of course, my lock of the week, not for this, but for my survivor pool that I'm in, breaking my own rule, it's going to be Dallas. I'm taking Dallas is my lock, and I'm sure I'll lose because of it.
I mean, how can you not? Because you got a Vegas team. You're playing at home. You're coming off a disappointing loss. You're on Thanksgiving. The Raiders aren't a great defense, if you will. They do have some pass rushers, but I think, Dak can throw against that defense. So at the end of the day, how could you not take the Cowboys? In fact, I feel like you should take a parlay on this. You take the Bears versus the Lions. You take the Cowboys over the Raiders. And of course, you take the Buffalo Bills over the Saints.
No Kamara. Yeah, no Kamara. That's huge.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and get this guy on. He wants to chime in. Let's get him his walk-up music. Here we go. Stand by. Longest intro of all time. Here we go. All right, Harry the Greek from 1252 Sports, professional handicapper. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. You're on with yours truly, along with Dennis Phillips of ABC Action News. What do you have to say, my friend?
My buddy, Mr. Denis Phillips. How are you, Dennis?
Harry, how you doing, man? Hey, somebody knows you. I went and I was getting my car worked on, and there's a guy who used to work at a Napa store down near where you worked, and he knew of you, and he said you were a crotchety old guy, but you knew what you were talking about.
A crotchety old guy.
Here's crotchety for you. That means you're an old fart right there, Harry. I don't see that. I don't hear that. But, Harry gets in his mood sometimes. You're the guy, by the way, who did pick the Texans over the Titans. You said the cover. But
not only cover, that they could win the game. Go ahead.
But you also, with giving me advice at that point after winning money, which thank you very much. I won money with the 49ers over the Jaguars. You said take the Cowboys over the Chiefs. Explain yourself, my friend.
Okay, I'm going to explain myself. I was a putz. Jewish terms, I was the putz, okay?
I like
it. My Lord, that was horrible. What a bad pick that was. But you know what? I went 7-2 last week. But there's a reason why I'm calling. I'm going to be on the show here in just a little while, but I just couldn't help myself. Dennis, there are no more tire discounts for you, sir. The Detroit Lions are going to upset the Chicago Bears? Really?
I just think I'm telling you, I still think that team is playing. By the way, I ended up getting tired somewhere else because I never heard back from you. So don't even go down that road. So I just think that the Lions are playing really hard, and I think the Bears are kind of in disarray. And by the way, I mean, last I checked, Andy Dalton is going to be the starting quarterback. I don't know, man. I think Detroit's going to want it more, but it's by no means a lock or anything close to it. I'm impressed that Detroit has not quit, and I honestly thought they would quit after losing that OT game in Pittsburgh, and they played Cleveland pretty tough last week.
I got to tell you, man, you got a lot of points that you're making there, Dennis. But in all honesty, teams are playing down right now to Detroit. I've watched them. They have packed it in quite a few different areas. When they played Pittsburgh, nobody wanted that game. And then Pittsburgh comes out and ends up doing a backdoor cover against the Chargers. I mean, you just never know what you're going to get in the National Football League. Is Detroit playing decent football? It's okay. Chicago should be 500 right now. I'm not trying to talk like I'm being a homer, but let's be real. Were they supposed to lose this last game? No. Did they get screwed out of the Pittsburgh game? Absolutely. Absolutely. I can name a couple of games. They haven't quit. And as far as Matt Nagy getting fired after the game, look, only one could wish. But that's not going to happen. A lot of people don't know that the Chicago Bears have never fired a head coach during the season, ever. And why?
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they do that. Maybe.
Why? Hold on. And just let me finish this. And why in the world would the Bears management walk up to the head coach and say, Matt, look, You're going to be fired after this game, but we need you to coach it. Are you out of your tree?
Well,
I mean,
it could be. It could be like the Gator situation where they offer Dan Mullen to coach versus Florida State, and he says, "Nah, you know what? I'd rather stay home, collect some of that money that Florida's paying me. I don't really want to coach today." Not that he did anyway this season. I mean, he's consistent with it, right, Denis and Harry?
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, I have 2 Gators. My daughter still goes to UF. My son graduated, and that team just collapsed. And I mean, Samford had that team on the ropes a couple of weeks ago. Now, if it were college basketball, Samford's not atrocious, but they quit. They apparently quit. And even in the Missouri game. Now, granted, that was a great game. If anybody watched that game, and props to Missouri, because when they went OT and the Gators scored right there in the first possession, Missouri came down, scored. They're like, you know what? We're going to go for 2. We're either going to win it or lose it. And I love, especially a huge underdog like that, I love them taking the chance to win it that way. Same way with Texas and Kansas a couple of weeks ago. Kansas in OT, same thing. Kansas is like, you know what? We're just going to go for 2, win or lose, and see how it plays out. And they won that game as well.
Great point. Hey, guys, Denis, I just really wanted to come on and say hello to you. I'm sorry I never got back in touch with you. I've always been super busy, but you always can rely on me. Ladies and gentlemen, that is one of the best handicappers that you'll ever meet and you'll ever get a chance to talk to. And he's a meteorologist. Just think about that. A meteorologist. He's lost his calling. Yeah. He was supposed to be a sports broadcaster.
I love the whole sports thing. And I honestly, if all the ex-athletes didn't get into sports, I may have tried, but I knew at least with weather, you get the background, the education, you can do it. Harry, I've told you this a million times. I'm the worst NFL handicapper in the history of the world. I am absolutely horrific. Now college football and college basketball, that's another story, but I'll tell you, the NFL, I'll leave it to you because I cannot make heads or tails of the NFL, and I never have.
Well, then I'm going to go publicly and say he thinks that Detroit's going to win the game, and he loves Dallas. That means take the Bears and take points with the Raiders.
Yes, 100%. Fade me every time, and you will be a wealthy man. That is a fact.
All right, good stuff.
Well, actually, those are 2 of the games. Well, we're going to actually talk about that here in a few minutes, Peter. As soon as I get my studio set up, I'm going to be on here in a few minutes. I just wanted to come on and say hello to Denis. I haven't talked to him in a long time. Man, God bless you both. It's a great show. Denis, I always love listening to you, and hopefully we can get you on my show.
Thanks, Harry. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your wife.
Happy Thanksgiving, my brother. Be blessed, and you take care, and go Bears.
Oh, there you go. Mr. Harry the Greek right there from 1252 Sports, professional handicapper extraordinaire. We're on with Mr. Denis Phillips of ABC Action News. And we also got in the back room here, Fat Mike from Chicago's 1252 Sports. He has something to say about his Bears, so we'll get to him in a moment. And we're expecting Leo Haggerty, so it's going to be a busy night. So Vegas versus the Cowboys. You're taking the Cowboys in that third game, Denis. Who do you like? Bills really need a win. Kind of being embarrassed here the last couple weeks, losing to the Colts on the road versus a Saints team that doesn't look like they have Kamara, doesn't look like they have a quarterback. So do the Saints have the chance for the upset once again over the Bills, or do the Bills win this game on Thursday?
First of all, just so you know, I did not say I like the Cowboys minus the points. I said I'm taking the Cowboys in my survivor pool, which is not a spread. Okay. So, and honestly, after we just talked about this, there is no way in the world I'm laying any points with the Dallas Cowboys because you never know what team you're going to get. I do, however, kind of like the Lions at home in that kind of a situation on Thanksgiving Day, although actually the Thanksgiving Day record has not been very good. In fact, if you remember last year, Will Fuller went off on the Lions last year. I had him on my fantasy team. I mean, he was just amazing. But as for Kamara is out, and, New Orleans is a mess. But you know what? Buffalo's kind of a mess, too. The question is, are they going to get healthy against the Saints? And I don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. I don't like going against home teams. I love home dogs, but I think both teams are kind of in a bad way. And Buffalo's got a pretty good defense, although not against the run, clearly, with Jonathan Taylor. But no, I only have one play tomorrow, and it would be the Detroit Lions plus the 3 against the Chicago Bears. I have no opinion on the others. Now, college basketball, I've been having a field day over the last several days because there's games every weekday from 11 a.m. until 1 in the morning with all these Christmas, all these Thanksgiving tournaments. So I'm a kid in a candy store with that.
Yeah, and of course, Dick Vitale last night gets to announce number 1 versus number 2. The guy has still got it. He's dealing with chemo, so God bless him. He'll just continue to do what he's doing. With that being said, what are your thoughts on your alma mater in Penn State re-signing James Franklin to a 10-year extension? Your thoughts on that?
Back in the day, you won't remember this. There was a college basketball coach named Lefty Driesell. He coached the Maryland Terrapins, and he always had the reputation of being an amazing recruiter and a pretty poor X's and O's coach. James Franklin, as a Penn State grad, James Franklin has a great recruiter. I mean, there's a lot of NFL players who went to Penn State, a lot of offensive players, Chris Godwin. I mean, some Allen Robinson. I mean, some solid receivers out there. And but they just can never win the big game, ever. So I think if you're a Penn State fan, expect a lot of 8-3 seasons for the next 10 years and no national championships and no college playoffs because they just don't have the ability to beat the Ohio States. They can beat Michigan. They can beat anybody else. They cannot beat Ohio State. And when they do, they needed a block punt to do so and run it back. And they had them beat several years ago and then blew it in the fourth quarter. So, hey, I love my alma mater. I'll always root them on, but I have no dreams of grandeur, no aspirations of any sort of playoffs, unless maybe it goes 8, and even then probably not, because they're just – James Franklin, to me, is a great recruiter, but not the greatest of coaches.
All right, good stuff there. Ohio State, Michigan, high noon. Who wins that game and why? How can you go against? Did you watch Ohio State versus Michigan State last night or last week? Yes.
Let me tell you, I had Michigan State plus 45.5 first half and lost. Plus 45 in the first half, not in the game. In the first half, Ohio State looked ridiculous. Now, usually those rivalry games, we all know it ain't going to be like that. It's going to be in the big house. It's going to be crazy, but I just think Ohio State is rounding, kind of like what we talked about with the Bucs and with some other teams. They're rounding into form as they approach the end of the season. And I think there's only 2 teams that would beat Ohio State right now, Georgia and Alabama. Those are the 2 teams that I think would beat Ohio State, nobody else.
Florida State and Florida. Doesn't mean a lot right now, but does Florida State win this game? Why or why not?
That's a great question. UF's a 2-point favorite, I think. I really don't like the game. I don't. I don't think it matters that it's in the swamp. I don't think it would matter if it was at FSU. You could argue that FSU is going in the right direction as opposed to UF, but it's such a rivalry game. I think that's just my daughter's going to be there, my son, because my daughter goes to UF and my son goes to FSU. And I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I don't have an opinion on it at all. I don't.
I wouldn't either, because if you choose one side, the other sibling there doesn't necessarily like you. So you got to kind of stay neutral, if you will. With that being said, the Tampa Bay Rays signed Wander Franco to a 12-year extension, over $200 million. Good move by this team?
Great move by the team. You have to wonder if it's a good move by Wander Franco. This is somewhat like Evan Longoria. Remember back in the day, Longo signed, I believe it was a 10-year contract. And for most of that contract, everybody said the Rays got a bargain. And they probably did. So, but on the other side of the coin, if the kid's going to get a couple $100 million, how much more do you need?
Right.
I mean, he can support his family. He can take care of everybody that he needs to. And I think it's a win-win. Could he have gotten more if he had signed a short term and then once he became eligible for a free agent? I'm sure he could have. But you know what? He's happy with $200 million. How many of us wouldn't be,
Yeah, this, send them my way, $100
Right.
tonight, send 200 million my way. I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm happy. Should Bucs fans be happy on Sunday? Are they going to take care of business versus the Colts? How do you see this game playing out, Dennis?
You know what? I think the Bucs win this game, and I think they win it because I think they're able to contain Jonathan Taylor. They're not going to stop him. They're going to contain him. And I think that'll be just enough that if you have to depend on Carson Wentz outside of Michael Pittman, you don't got a heck of a lot left. I think the Bucs will be able to find some holes in that secondary of the Colts. And I think the Bucs win. Let's see. Like I said, I went 34-10 last week. I think the Bucs will win 27-17.
All right, there you go. 27-17. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons right there for that. Denis Phillips, go ahead and promote yourself on this Thanksgiving Eve.
Chief Meteorologist here at ABC Action News. By the way, we have 4 days left to get our Rule Number 7 stuff on my Facebook page. If you go to Denis Phillips, WFTS, all the proceeds are donated to the Children's Miracle Network. And December 11th and 18th, our family has its annual hot chocolate drive in my neighborhood where people from all over Pinellas County drive and come see it. And if you haven't, you should. It is just an amazing Christmas-like display for the family. You drive through, you can get some hot chocolate, help out the kids. And we will be doing that on the 11th and the 18th of December in Indian Trails in Palm Harbor.
I am coming out for that. I'm bringing my camera, and who knows, maybe we'll do some impromptu sports web action. Sound good?
Yeah, good blast.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Denis Phillips of ABC Action News. Thanks a lot for being on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. All right.
Thanks, Peter. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everyone else out there.
Thank you very much, sir. Right there. Denis Phillips of ABC Action News. Let's go out to these comments, and then we will get out to our Chicago connection. Fat Mike of 1252 Sports and Harry the Greek. A little Chicago feel, if you will, tonight, talking around the NFL and, of course, about the Chicago Bears, because that is a big story in the news right now. The rumor is that Matt Nagy gets fired after this Thanksgiving game. Also, I didn't get a chance to ask this to you fans. What are you most thankful for in sports? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Christopher Cole says, awesome sauce. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Roger Shue, the tribal troll. I remember those days. As we all, my friend, as we all do. Starting out at 10:10 a.m., starting out on this YouTube channel, 10:10 a.m., 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., barely talking to anybody. And now we got all these webheads and all these fans. It's a beautiful thing. The evolution, if you will. I love it. Great news, buddy. Congrats, my friend. You deserve it. I'm sure your dad would be so proud of you. I know I am. Appreciate you, Cole. CSB brother right there, Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Went to school with him. Once again, the Bucs are happy beating a mediocre team with a struggling coach.
Shut up!
Troy Polamalu can never please you, my friend. You're never satisfied. No satisfaction with you. You must be a Rolling Stones fan. Come on, guys. Support the best sports talk show on YouTube. Appreciate that, Roger. Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan legend. For Thanksgiving, the gods from hell have given us a football game from hell. Bears versus the Lions. I tell you right now, it was entertaining last week to see the Bears against the Ravens. They came back. I thought they were going to win the game. Of course, I do the over-under with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper on Friday nights at 9 o'clock on 1252. Kind of freelance a little bit. Not just NSPN, I Love St. Pete, and the Sports Web. Doing other things here, you know? Kind of thinking outside of the box a little bit. Everybody, all you talk about is the Bucs all the time. All you talk about is Tampa Bay sports. Not true. Tune in on Friday night at 9 o'clock and find out on 1252 Sports. So I'm going to keep my mind open about that game. And, of course, if it's not a good game, then you fall asleep. You know, that's a great thing about Thanksgiving. I keep on putting it out there. You eat as much as you want, you sleep as much as you want, and you watch football all day long, and you don't have to do any of that in any particular order. Go Bears, fire Nagy. Troy Polamalu, Adrian Peterson belongs in the National Dinosaur Museum. Wow. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that. Woo! Mac and cheese, not Thanksgiving food. BS. Get out of here on that.
Shut up!
No way. Come on. Homemade macaroni and cheese. You ever had it? My mom makes the best homemade macaroni and cheese. No way. You got to have that. Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan Legend SC. Jason Garrett will be eating a cold turkey for Thanksgiving from the microwave. Ouch. Old and bitty. Shut up, Pete. This is Fat Mike. Go Bears. David, again, I'm loving the way the Bucs D shut out the Giants in the second half. It feels like the launching pad for this team. Let's go Bucs. And I tell you right now, it may have not been Barrett. JPP played well, but Joe Tryon Shayenka. Boy, oh boy, Todd Bowles was getting creative with that defensive line, doing some things to free up some guys like a Shayenka and, of course, Sasu and other parties. Sitton says, go Bucs. Love it. Roger Shue says, hit the like button. Give super chaps. Support Pete and the show. Appreciate it. Sitting 38-28 over the Colts. Roger Shue again. Bears representing tonight. They will be in the building, so stay tuned, Mr. Roger Shue. Out of Chicago, Colts are going to whoop the Bucs.
Shut up!
I mean, you just make it so easy for me there, Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan Legend. I mean, between you and Roger, and I love Roger and know him personally. I don't know you, but I appreciate, once again, tuning in here and the support because, you know, the big announcement to start the show, we are monetized on YouTube, and it's because of you webheads out there that support this show on a nightly basis. And also taking advantage of an opportunity to go out and look at and do a live stream for Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. Only 180,000 views. Not bad. Not bad for somebody that's, doesn't have his own network. I'm really thankful. Matt Ryan isn't our quarterback. Roger Shue, again, breaking news. I've been hired as Nagy's replacement. And let me go back out to Roger Shue again. Peter loves to talk soccer, so all you fans call into the sports web. Feel free. We will work out that situation. Again, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I'm going to go ahead and take a chance here and play. I'm going to go ahead and play this music right here to get this guy on. Here we go. It's Fat Mike from 1252 Sports in Chicago. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television.
What's up, Peter Blake? How are we, my friend?
Doing great, man. Happy Thanksgiving. I got to ask you this: turkey or ham? Welcome
turkey all day. Turkey.
Yeah,
I try to get the tryptophan poisoning real early too, especially tomorrow. I'm gonna really try to get that tryptophan poisoning really early to where I can fall asleep during that horseshit Bears game that we got going for us.
And you gotta love it. The explicitives that come out of
this.
Oh,
damn! Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. Just be yourself.
I'm sorry.
I love that about this because we have so many cast of characters here. Harry the Greek will be joining us in just a little bit. You're a Chicago guy.
Yes, sir.
Really quick, tell us about 1252 Sports and what you guys are doing over there. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, man. Hey, over here at 1252 Sports, we're Chicago local right now, but we're eventually going to be branching out through New York, Los Angeles, and the bigger market cities. But right now, we're centralized in Chicago here. We got a bunch of great shows on our network with guys that have been in the sports world for over 40 years in David Schuster and the David Schuster Express. We have Fred Hubner, who pretty much started, like literally both those guys started on a thing called Sports Phone, where you would call in on a telephone line and ask what the score of the game was, guys. That's how old this is.
Yeah.
Right. This is 40 years ago. These guys have been doing this stuff. They know sports like the back of their hand. Fred has his own show called Hube's Views and Brews, where he talks all Chicago sports and all the great local breweries around the Chicagoland area. My fat ass is a show. It's okay. And then we got Bears Fan with a Brain. It's a pregame show to our Chicago Bears here. We have a really great fantasy football show with Jeffrey Schwartz. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he's the man who orchestrated the disco demolition here at Comiskey Park.
Wow.
And with he's with Andrew Tarbill and Tyler DeMouse. And then after that, we got Harry the Greek. And then not only that, but we just added a new addition in Jacob Charnow and his show on Sunday mornings, talking everything football. It's a great thing that we got going on here. And I appreciate the shout out for it, Pete. I really do. Thanks, man.
You guys deserve it. You guys work hard. I love Harry. I love Jacob. I've worked with Jacob before. 2 great guys. And just talking to you and doing shows with you, you make me laugh my ass off. I enjoy it. And I got to go out to Roger Shue here. He says, I love Fat Mike. Chicago for life. There you go. Kumbaya right there from Roger Shue. Christopher Cole, I'm thankful for Tampa Bay. I think we all are.
You should be. I'm jealous of Tampa Bay.
Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Your thoughts being 7-3, some challenges, but still 7-3 going into this Colts game. How do you see that game on Sunday playing out?
This game, listen, man, this game, and above all, Peter, you know me, I'm not just a Chicago fan, man. I love my Bears, but I love football above everything.
Yeah.
All right. I am a football fan. So, just because I root for the Bears doesn't mean I don't like any other team in the league. This Tampa Bay team had a couple of rough starts here, especially that ass whooping they took by the Redskins was a rough one.
Yeah.
That was a rough one. Okay. And then dropping another one. Who'd they lose to again?
They lost to the Rams, the LA Rams.
Thank you. They lost to the Rams. And then they lost to Washington and somebody else back to back.
Yes.
They avoided 3 losses.
Yes.
New Orleans, right, correct. They took a thumping from New Orleans too. So, this game here is a very, very sneaky game. And it's one of those ones where it's like, I don't want to bet it and I don't want to play it on my confidence pool either. Because right now the Colts are running really hot. Jonathan Taylor is an unstoppable force right now. And not Phillip Rivers, I apologize. Carson Wentz is actually, for 2 sprained ankles, a broken collarbone, and this, that, and that, whatever else that guy has hurt. All right. They're starting to come around and the defense is playing really good football. It could be a very tough game for Tampa Bay, but I'm still taking Tampa Bay for the win. Honestly, I really do. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what everybody thinks. I think it's going to be a field goal game, but it's going to be a tough matchup for the Tampa Bay Bucs. I really believe that.
I agree. And I think, look, if they get Vita Vea back, it definitely helps. It definitely makes an impact on that defensive line. If not, they're going to have their hands full. And now with Devin White and that injury, who knows what happens? Kevin Minter is not Devin White. He's serviceable, but he's not White. With all that being said, you watched football for so many years. Are you surprised by how Tom Brady is still getting it done at 44 years old, Fat Mike?
I was just talking about this earlier with a couple of my buddies and my brother. That guy is unbelievable, man. Tom Brady is really unbelievable. As much as I hate his guts, as much as I hate everything that he stands for, and the guy just wins, man. I tell you this, I will never, ever, ever bet against Tom Brady ever again in my life. I've watched this guy come back from so many games down. That 28-3 Super Bowl against Atlanta. Come on. I'm never betting against Tom Brady ever again. He could be 65 years old filing an AARP card out in the fucking 50, and I am not betting against Tom Brady. Plain and simple. I'm not doing it.
How long do you think he can play? Because people are saying, I've talked to fans all the time. They're like, Kyle Trask is the future. And I'm like, okay, but just wait for the greatest of all.
Kyle Trask is going to have to take a seat for at least another couple of years, man. Right. I'm telling you. I like Kyle Trask. I like what I've seen out of that kid. I do like Kyle Trask a lot, but Tom Brady's not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. I think he still's got probably 3 to 5 years left in him at the rate he's playing now. He's just unbelievable. The way he zings that ball, he's so quick. He doesn't get touched. That offensive line is so good. He's so quick to get the ball out. He just knows how to win. He knows how to win.
All right, let's go out to Roger Shue. I called Sportsline as a kid. I think we all at that point, we called our own sports talk shows. That's the reason why we do this right now as adults. We called those sports talk shows, and they were very rare. And I remember, my mom and my dad, especially my mom, was thinking I went to sleep. I used to listen to 101 Sports at 2:00 in the morning with Bob Kemp. I used to listen to Fox Sports Radio or whatever was on at that point to just, get the feel of what was going on in the sports world. There was something about it. And that's why I love what you guys do over there at 1252. I love what we do here at NSPN. And of course, I love St. Pete on the sports web here. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Let's talk about this Bears team. I really thought, and I watched this game with Terry, and I thought they had this game. Andy Dalton comes in. He plays very well. The line seems like they're getting better. You made some big plays there. I just don't understand how you lose to the Baltimore Ravens last Sunday. What happened to that defense?
Listen, this is something that it's been in perspective for the last year and a half at least, Peter. Like, this is no bullshit, my friend. The defense just gives up big plays when you don't need them to. Like, it's hysterical. Whenever you need the defense to make a stop, they just don't do it. They're like a clogged toilet, man. They just don't stop running. It's ridiculous. And last week was the prime example. And so was the week before against Pittsburgh. You take a lead late and you give it up. It's like, what are you doing? Last week, Kendall Vildor twice got caught out of position. One time, he wasn't even near the fucking wide receiver. Like, where is this guy? He's out in the middle of the field while Sammy Watkins is wide open for a 25-yard gainer to put them in field goal position. And it's like, what is going on with this team? Now, the Andy Dalton thing, I made a post last week. Like, okay, here we go. Here come the Andy Dalton tweets. Andy Dalton should be the starter because he threw 2 passes and one of them was a touchdown. All right. Calm your jets, man. The Bears are in a bad way right now. They're in a very, very bad way. Andy Dalton doesn't help you. He doesn't hurt you. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
He's a jag, and that's what I said. Not what everybody else is thinking. He's just a guy at the end of the day, and if he's your starting quarterback, although I will say that he did make some plays against that Raven defense more than Justin Fields. I tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines here. Let's go ahead and get this guy's walk-up music on. Here we go. Stand by. Yeah! All right, Mr. Curtis from Newport Richie, welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. You're on with Fat Mike from 1252 Sports, talking around the NFL and Chicago Bear football. What do you have to say, my friend?
Chicago Bear football.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're expanding out here.
Bear down, Chicago Bears.
I'll play it. I'll do it. Hold on.
There it is.
Look, I'm open to it. Everybody was like, oh, all you talk about is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No, not on the sports web. We talk about what is relevant, and tonight we're on with Fat Mike. So what do you have to say, my friend?
All right, well, since we're on the phone, who is your favorite all-time Chicago Bear?
Go ahead, Fat Mike.
Me, personally, I mean, you can't pass up Sweetness, man. Walter Payton's where it's at. You can't pass up Sweetness. Sweetness was the man. On the offensive side, it's definitely Walter Payton. On the defensive side, hands down, Dan Hampton. Love Dan Hampton. Brian Urlacher's up there, but Devin Hester's up there as well. Those are my guys.
And here's how great this, these guys right here, they talk to some of these players. They talk to some of these players on occasion. Go ahead.
What about Rex Grossman? No, I'm just messing with you.
Get the fuck out of here, Rex Grossman. You gotta be kidding me. Mr. Sail the ball fucking 40 yards over your head out the sideline, Rex Grossman. Is that the guy you're talking about?
Listen, I love Sweetness. I've always been a Gale Sayers fan because he's from where I'm from.
Right.
Gallop and Ghost.
And I've always loved Mike Singletary.
Yes, and Mike Singletary is the man. Those eyes. If for nothing, Mike Singletary would just make you shit your pants just by staring at you.
Absolutely.
He's a scary looking man. He is a very scary looking man.
I call it the Jameis Winston eyes because that's how Jameis Winston looks in the pocket.
Well, that was before the LASIK though. That was before the LASIK.
Yeah.
He was trying to be wide eyed to see who the fuck he was throwing the ball to.
That's good. That's good. Good stuff there, Fat Mike. All right, Curtis. What else? I know you want to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which you're more. And again, I go back to this statistic.
I'm actually interested in all the other games this week. Actually,
what games are you interested in?
Well, the Bears and the Lions game is actually going to be a better game than people I think it's going to be.
Okay.
Hold on. I just vomited a little bit in my mouth there, bud.
I understand that, but it's still a division game. Okay. Didn't nobody expect the Vikings to beat Green Bay last week, but they did.
Sure.
Okay, division games are always played tough. New Orleans shouldn't have beat Tampa, but they did.
Right.
The Texans shouldn't have beat Tennessee, but they did.
They did. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the Buffalo Bills, they did. The Colts beat the Bills again. They did.
Yep.
I mean, parity is prevalent, in the National Football League. So how do you see these Thanksgiving games tomorrow,
Well,
Curtis?
I'm definitely picking the Bears because is that kid? What's that running back? Montgomery? Is he playing?
He is playing.
He is playing.
I love that kid. They just need a better offensive line for him.
Well, they do. I mean, that's been the thing. But they got back Borum, who's a 5th-round pick on the right side, who's playing quite well. Jason Peters, maybe not necessarily in pass protection. Give the guy credit, though, in that run game. He's still a bulldozer at that point. So they got some good things going for him. And I think, Tim Boyle playing like Susan Boyle last week, honestly, for the Lions. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how he's in the NFL. Somebody has to explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old. At the University of Connecticut, he had 13 interceptions and 1 touchdown, and he's a starting quarterback for the Lions. That tells you everything you need to know.
Yep. I like the Raiders over Dallas.
Why the Raiders over Dallas? Dallas is at home. Why the Raiders?
Did the Broncos not just spank them at home the other week?
They did. Yes.
I don't think that home field advantage means anything for Dallas.
Really?
I think that defense is finally getting exposed. I understand that they have injuries, in the front.
Sure.
But nobody makes excuses when the Bucs lose, so I'm not making excuses for any other team.
Fair enough.
Okay?
Fair enough.
So the Raiders, if they could run the ball, I feel like they'll run the ball down Dallas's throat. And there won't be anything they can do about it.
Okay.
And then the night game, I think it's going to be a shootout. I think more points is going to be scored than anybody thinks. Because I think that Mark Ingram is going to have a big game, actually, because apparently Buffalo can't stop the run.
Well, if he's healthy, he is banged up, right, Peter? He is banged up a little bit with a knee.
Up, and so is Kamara. And then
Kamara's ruled out.
Yes. So
okay, well they can just do Taysom Hill quarterback power all game. So
I mean, coming off of that extension this week, and we'll get back to that in a moment. Let me ask you, Curtis, what were your thoughts on that extension for Taysom Hill? I mean, I don't know what he is. Is he a quarterback, a tight end?
I don't. Tell you what, yeah. I'm not mad at the man for getting his money.
Sure.
That's the number one thing I'm going to say. And he's what Tim Tebow should have been.
If he were given a chance, I think, to a certain degree.
Well, Denver, New England, or the Jets was not the team
right
for Tim Tebow.
No.
You needed a guy like Sean Payton.
Or Jacksonville.
Well, dude, you know what? All 3 of us could go play for Jacksonville right now, okay?
I'm telling you. They're a disgrace right now. I'm surprised that
wide receiver right here. Wide receiver.
Right there.
Hey, I could be defensive tackle, okay? 310 pounds.
Sure.
Okay. Tim Tebow needed a guy that would be able to put him in a situation like Sean Payton or even Kyle Shanahan to put him in a situation where he could use his talent just like Taysom Hill does.
Mm-hmm.
Taysom Hill is good at multiple things. It's not just one thing. When Drew Brees was standing back there, you already knew what you were going to deal with. You were going to deal with short, crisp routes, very accurate, and there's going to be nothing you could do about it if you could not get to him.
Absolutely.
So, but Taysom Hill, he's not a one-chick pony. He's a jack of all trades. The guy he could play receiver, he could play quarterback, he could play running back.
Yep.
He might not be great at one thing, but he can do a bunch of things. So, you never know where Sean Payton's going to line him up at. So,
agree.
But as far as a starting quarterback, no. He's a backup, but he's not a starting quarterback.
He's not a starting quarterback, and that's the problem with the Saints right now, Fat Mike. They don't have a starting quarterback.
Right.
I mean, Trevor Siemian.
Oh my God!
Yeah, but it's not good. It's not a good situation.
The problem with Taysom Hill is that he's never been able to actually showcase what he's actually able to do. Now at Brigham Young, he was actually a pretty decent quarterback, and just injuries just beat his ass up and down his college career, and he was lucky to even get drafted. Okay, but I mean, I think Taysom Hill could actually be a legitimate starter because he is accurate with his passes, unlike a guy like Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, just along the same line we were just talking about, Sexy Rexy. Again, same thing, not accurate with his passes. Mitchell Trubisky, not accurate with his passes. All right, don't get me going on Bears quarterbacks, but that's the same exact thing. Look at Blake Bortles. Again, not accurate with passes. those guys do not have a long-filled career in the NFL if you can't hit an open receiver, plain and simple. And that is why Tim Tebow is not in the NFL anymore. And that is why Taysom Hill is in the league, because he's available to play other positions, like you said, Curtis.
Exactly. And consequently, and I think, Curtis, you're a Gator fan. Two of those quarterbacks are.
No, sir. No, sir. I am not. I don't like any Florida teams.
Oh, you don't like any Florida teams? Okay.
No, I do not. I am a Nebraska Cornhusker fan.
Oh, okay. Well, that's another story in itself.
Oh man, don't hurt my feelings, sir.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Sir.
I mean, you get your coach there from UCF.
I didn't want that guy.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't want that guy. But
you're telling me they didn't consult with you on the new hire?
Man, listen, let me tell you something.
The
only thing I will say is this: those boys have been playing for him lately. That's all I'm going to say. They have been playing. They haven't been getting blown out like they normally have. And they've been, losing by 7 instead of 14 and 28, and like, Jesus, thank you, God, finally. So,
Stand by, Curtis. Let me put you on hold really quick. Hold on, Roger. Let me go back to Curtis here. Stand by, Roger. You're on hold. You're on the Evolution. Go ahead, Curtis. Finish up.
So, yeah, but no, I mean, as far as the Bucs and the Colts, I think it's going to be a very good game. And, and I'm really waiting to see, because I think this is our bonus game for the season, because
Yep.
I don't think they weren't on our schedule normally, and that was that bonus game for us this year. So, I told you, Peter, I pounded the table for Jonathan Taylor, and
you did.
Everybody was like, oh man, he's a Wisconsin running back, and they run their running backs to death. Yeah, I understand that, but they always give you a good 3-4 years. And I mean, what is the shelf life for running backs nowadays? Everybody's not
3-4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's not Adrian Peterson and Frank Gore. You know what I'm saying?
You.
Like, look at that. Dallas pays Zeke all that money, and he hasn't been the guy he was before he got paid. So,
right.
It's like, you give these guys all that. Look at Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley was the same way.
Got paid big time money.
And he was nowhere to be seen for the next 2 years.
Christian McCaffrey, he gets paid big money. He gets hurt.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara, he's now getting hurt. So maybe you don't give that extension to those running backs, although I think at the end of the day, the market would say otherwise, but it doesn't necessarily always work out. And the point is that a running back shelf life is about 3 or 4 years, depending on how you use them.
Yep. The only other 2 games I'm really interested in this weekend, besides my Bucs, honestly, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh should be a really good game. I think it's going to be a very physical game.
Okay.
And then definitely interested in Green Bay and the Rams.
Yeah, I think Green Bay and the Rams, and Aaron Rodgers is on the injury list. Really quick, let me go out to you, Fat Mike. How do you see this Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game working out? Curtis, stay on the line.
Curtis, I mean, I think you're right there, bud. That's going to be a very tough game. It's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game, because neither team can really play defense. Everybody was talking a few weeks ago about how great Cincinnati's defense was. Everybody was talking about how great Pittsburgh's defense was. Well, they've both been giving up quite a little bit of points here now, haven't they? TJ Watt has been, I mean, listen, the guy's, he's going to get his, just like Myles Garrett, just like all those big defensive ends, outside linebackers. They're going to get theirs. And if he's healthy, he's going to get his, plain and simple. But
I'm going to say this. I love Mac Jones, but Jamar Chase, that guy is the real deal.
Jamar Chase is the real deal. But could you imagine what Joe Burrow would be able to do with another healthy offensive lineman in front of him?
I agree.
Let's be legit here. Let's be legit here. Jamar Chase, yes, he's phenomenal. But could you imagine if Joe Burrow had a little bit more protection to find an open receiver?
Absolutely.
He already had 2 good ones over there in T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. Jamar Chase is a little sprinkle on top of the cupcake. Let's not kid ourselves.
Absolutely. And
it's going to be a tough game.
I will say this about Cincinnati too. I did not expect Joe Mixon to be as good as he was, as he is now.
Mr. Migraine is what I like to call him. Mr. Migraine, yeah.
Well, he definitely gives you a headache, and on top of it, he was a headache coming out of Oklahoma. There was a lot of red flags with him off the field. You haven't heard a peep out of him. He's definitely solidified that running game. But you're exactly right, Fat Mike. And Curtis, you know all too well. I said during the draft process, you should draft Penei Sewell out of Oregon. That should be your first round pick. That has been the mistake of the Bengals throughout their history with developing a young quarterback, not putting the proper pieces. And when you have an opportunity to get a left tackle in there or a right tackle, that's what you got to do.
Because Dalton wasn't bad for them. Dalton was good for a couple years for them.
Sure.
He was really good for them. And then
the problem with the Bengals was Marv Lewis.
Palmer was what he was.
Yes, agree. Marv Lewis was the problem.
The problem with the Bengals was Marvin Lewis. He couldn't. He didn't hold his guys accountable for being idiots on the field.
That's a good point.
Well, not only that, they couldn't attract free agents either because they didn't want to pay anybody.
Yeah. No.
They didn't. They never wanted to pay anybody. And then you obviously had Vontaze Burfict there. Nobody wanted to play with that guy because he was a dirty player.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Curtis. Well, we got to run. Right. You go ahead and use that second call. Appreciate the call here on the Evolution, our Sports Talk Television. All right.
Take care, Curtis.
All right, let's go. Let's go out to Roger here. Let's get him some theme music here. Stand by. Let me see here. Where is his theme music? Oh, here we go. All right, Roger, nice. Richie, welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. You're on with yours truly, along with Fat Mike from 1252 Sports. What do you have to say, my friend?
Peter Blake, first of all, congratulations on monetization. I'm proud of you. It's taken a long time, but you finally made it.
Yes, about 9 years worth of just frustration.
Where's the clapping?
I know, I need that. I need to do all that.
Absolutely. It's nice. Mike, I just want to say, hey, man, Peter turned me on to your show. I love it. I'm Chicago born and bred. Bulls, Cubs, Blackhawks, Bears.
That's what's up, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the kind words. It's awesome. Keep on listening, my friend.
Peter trying to get me to switch for 20 years. It'll never happen. I can't get it out of my blood.
All right. So with that being said, let's talk some turkey, Roger Shue, the tribal troll here on the sports web. What do you think about the rumors? Matt Nagy going to be fired at the end of the game, whether he wins or not? And how do you see this game playing out with the Bears and Lions on Thanksgiving?
Oh, Jesus. Please let him go. Start at Ted Phillips and go all the way down.
That's it.
Agreed. But I got bad news for the both of you guys. Today, George McCaskey met with the team and met with the coaches and said he will not be fired after the Lions game. Unfortunately, that will not be the case, my friends. I apologize. In typical Bears fashion, they seem to fuck it up again. So that's what it boils down to. Let's keep on living the Three Stooges episode that we have here in Chicago between Ted Phillips, Ryan Pace, and Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
I've been waiting since 1985 for a Super Bowl. I'm 51 years old. I don't know how much time I got left for another one.
Well, you're going to be waiting on probably another 35 years, bud. It's been that long now. So I say by the time you're 86, we might have another one.
Yeah, Mike. My whole thing was I got to at least see the Cubs win a World Series, so I'm happy.
Yep. Right, I was able to see that too. I'm a diehard Cub fan, so I'm right there with you.
Let me ask you this, Roger. Let's be optimistic for a moment. Even though you got Andy Dalton starting tomorrow, do you believe that Justin Fields is going to be the franchise quarterback for the present and for the future?
Yes.
Okay, and why do you feel like that?
Because he's better than Andy Dalton.
Well, of course he's better than Andy Dalton.
You're better than Andy Dalton.
Well, look, I told you that. And we've been talking about this off air, on air forever, and I've been screaming at the top of rooftops. Andy Dalton is not a starting quarterback in the National Football League. If he is your starting quarterback, you're going nowhere. And that's why I said from the very beginning, you started Justin Fields. To that point, though, with the offensive line struggles, I will say that Andy Dalton looked a lot better than Justin Fields against the Ravens. So whether that works out or not against the Lions, I have no idea. I'm taking the Bears in this game. Are you doing the same?
Yes, but I'm just glad the shit show is going to be over with before I eat my turkey so I don't throw up all over myself.
All right, turkey or ham?
It's turkey, no mac and cheese.
Nope. Okay, so wait a minute.
Where's this whole mac and cheese thing? This is the whole Matt Judon thing?
Yeah, this is the Matt Judon thing. And I feel disrespected and attacked here by a lot of people.
This is bullshit.
This is bullshit because I love homemade macaroni and cheese, damn it.
Wait. Pete.
Yes.
I love mac and cheese. It's just not a Thanksgiving thing.
If it's homemade macaroni.
If it's homemade, it's different. If it's the crap shit that you make out of the box, no dice.
Right.
Fucking leave that shit in the box.
I mean, I make shells out of my microwave. It takes me 3 minutes, put water in. I mean, that's how I cook. I cook in my air fryer. If I had a chance to cook turkey in my air fryer.
If you make it in the air, if you make it in the microwave, that's also why your fire alarms go off every time you walk underneath them. It's all that radioactive poison you got in your fucking brain.
Well,
All right? Let's be real here. It has to be homemade mac and cheese. It can't be the soup cup shit that you throw in the fucking microwave and then throw on somebody's plate. It can't be Kraft garbage bullshit. It can't be Velveeta shells. It has to be homemade. Maybe a little panko breadcrumbs on the top, Ritz cracker crumble. It has to be the real deal mac and cheese. If it's not, fucking keep it off to the side.
I agree. All right.
All right, Max. So here's a question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, turkey or ham?
Fucking turkey all day, dude. Turkey all day.
All right.
I'm like fucking Ned Stark with a turkey leg sitting at the end of my table, sitting there just munching on it, man. Yeah. They don't. My other screen name is Turkey Leg 69. Don't kid yourself. I'm all about it.
Nice.
Love it. Let me fire those cannons for that. Let me go and give a woo for that.
You guys, I'll let you go. Both of you have a great Thanksgiving to you and all your families. And you guys both have a great night. God bless.
You too, brother. Happy Thanksgiving.
Troll. Yes, sir.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, brother.
All right, man. Sounds good right there. Roger Shue for the Tribal Troll from Newport Richie. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to some of these comments. Brian Pearson, the Saints fan here. Tom Brady beats teams that have no winning record. Wait till he plays the Indianapolis Colts this Sunday and he gets beat. Then you'll see the real Tom Brady. Brian is, once again, a big-time Saints fan, if you couldn't tell. I mean, that's not true. I think Brian forgets that they beat the Washington football team, which is a divisional winner, even though it's 7-9. They did beat the Saints. They did beat the Packers, and, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, am I in the twilight zone? Has he also beaten the other NFC teams in the Super Bowl? He plays lousy teams. Make some sense of Brian here, Fat Mike.
Well, listen, you said, he just beat the football team. The football team just beat him a couple weeks ago.
Right.
They smoked him up a little bit. Now, listen, Tom Brady is the best of the best, guys. He's the GOAT for a reason. That shouldn't just be thrown around so willingly. He is the greatest of all time. He is the greatest quarterback we will ever see play the game. Plain and simple. Tom Brady can beat anybody. The way he plays the game, he just does it right. And listen, for everybody watching, for everybody listening, for everybody who's tuning in right now, I fucking hate the man. I hate him with a passion of 1,000 suns. I can't stand him. You want to know why I hate him? Because the fucking guy wins. That's why I hate him. He wins all the time, and he's consistent. It's been something that I've been lacking in my life watching football for 35 fucking years, guys. He wins all the time. Plain and simple. He just wins. He's the best.
I had nothing to say about that. So, Brian, this is what you get for that comment. The Chicago Bears quarterback got hurt. That's why they lost.
That's not why they lost. They lost because their defense is fucking abysmal. All right. And Justin Fields was like 4 of 11. Yes. Justin Fields was 4 of 11 before he got ripped out of the game with what was, I think it was I think the term was a torn labia, correct? No.
No, it was concussion.
Oh no, ribs. Yeah, it was ribs. I apologize. It was his ribs.
And ribs. Yes, it was both things at that point. But you're
labia
exactly right.
And ribs.
It was the defense, and you have to shut down the Ravens with the backup quarterback. You can't let them drive the whole field and get a touchdown,
especially with less than 2 minutes left.
Right.
You can't let them.
No,
I mean, just piss poor defense. Again, like I said at the beginning,
piss poor coaching.
Yeah, both.
Right. Absolutely. All right, Misador, how great is that Byron Nagy has become the new Let's Go Brandon? Misador, I'm going to give you the woo for that. Woo! I'll give you the oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Good stuff there. Let me go out, pound the share button. Appreciate it, me, of the Hoosier crew here on NSPN. It doesn't matter, but none of these games, when it comes down to it, Green Bay Packers versus the Indianapolis Colts or the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl this year. With that being said, let's go ahead and go out to this guy once again. Here's his walk-up music.
so fucking long.
Harry the Greek, a 1252 sports professional handicapper. Welcome to the Evolution. It is a long intro, but hey, look, when you go 7-2 last week,
hey,
you get those privileges here on the Evolution.
Yeah.
Oppa, baby, Oppa. Mikey, how you doing today? Peter Blake, thank you so much for having me on. Let me tell you something. I'm all part of 1252 Sports. I'm on with my buddy from the Sports Web over here. What could life be better? And I get the intro of almost the Zorba, the Greek music. All I can say is
tomorrow is fucking Turkey Day, guys. We get to sit around and get all fat and stupid. How fucking awesome is that?
I love having this guy on.
How awesome is that? I cannot wait to wake up in the morning, throw that fucking bird in the oven, shut the door, put that cocksucker on 400 and have turkey smells throughout the entire day. It's going to be fucking fantastic. I can't wait.
Well, I'm hoping that YouTube isn't watching the show tonight.
No, YouTube doesn't care about swearing. Who gives a shit? Just hit explicit button. You're fine. Fuck it. You're good.
All right, it's Matt Mike for 1252 Sports, Harry the Greek. All right, first and foremost, we'll start it off. By the way, the question for the night for the fans out there in the Tampa Bay area, what are you thankful for in sports? This also could be nationally. Brian, you can go ahead and chime in. But Harry, turkey or ham on Thanksgiving, then we'll go from there.
Ask that question again because I was enamored with reading Brian Pearson's rhetoric, and you have to post the question first because it was to Fat Mike.
Okay,
and Mike, he's going to put this up for you. I have to give you. Hang on. I have to give you a little background on Brian Pearson. Brian Pearson is a Cajun. First off, he grew up in southern Jersey.
People that fucking
was he born on the bayou?
Yes, he was born on the bayou.
No,
he plays no, bro. He's a dueling banjos guy.
Come on.
Okay. He eats fucking bonbons.
Like 4 extra chromosomes.
Bro. Let me tell you something. You're small compared to this guy. And you have more more teeth.
Well, that's anybody from the bayou.
Listen, let me tell you, but let me tell you something. This Brian Pearson, he knows how to bring it, man. He's pretty good. But he has a question. Peter, go ahead and post it. Let Mike get introduced to Brian Pearson.
All right, let me go ahead and read some of these questions. We read that. We'll get back to that in a moment.
Read how he says it, though.
Until Virginia sells the team, the Bears will be garbage.
Right
he
on.
says the NFL breaking down barriers in families by putting Bears versus Lions on Thanksgiving, forcing families to talk to each other. Wow.
Right,
that's a good one. I'm going to go ahead and give you that.
Oh, yeah.
Lions will win and Nagy will be fired on Friday, says Christopher Cole. Wow. You guys should try to smoke a turkey in a smoker. That is really good.
It really is. I think you should smoke something, though, Brian, and step away from the cheeseburger and leave your sister alone.
Let's see here.
I'm kidding, Brian. I'm kidding.
Jeez, Harry fucking hates this guy. All right.
No, I don't hate the guy. I love the guy. He's from New Orleans. He root for Philadelphia. He's born on the bayou. You know what, Peter? Do me a favor. You've never done this before.
Yes.
Brian, I know you're watching.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to give you a chance to defend your stuff because I know you're a Jameis Winston lover, and I'll never read another one of your comments. I want you to go ahead and post. And Brian, no, you cannot eat my cat, but the only thing you can eat is this part. There
his
you
ass.
go.
You can eat his ass. You can eat
do me a favor. Ass. No, but seriously.
Yeah, Brian.
Now
eat
listen.
The cat's ass.
Listen, Peter, I want you to post the link in the comment. Brian, you need to come on because I want to give you a chance to explain because you pissed me off last week with all the bad comments about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I want you to tell the world why you think Tampa sucks. So put the link in there for the Sports Web. Brian, you see it. I don't want anybody else in there. Brian, hit that link. Come on in. And we're going to give you 2 minutes with the whole show. And I want you to go ahead and ask Fat Mike a couple of questions.
All right. Here's what Brian says about Fat Mike. I got a question for you. If the Green Bay Packers have a healthy team and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a healthy team in the playoffs, I'll be honest now. Who will win and why, sir?
Don't answer it, Mike. He needs to come on.
Honestly, this is a very tough question. If both teams are healthy, if both teams are 100% of Jair Alexander's there, and the other defensive end that the Packers have is healthy, it's a very tough. It'd be a very tough playoff game. But my edge would have to go honestly, with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Thank
Honestly,
you. And,
but hold on, it would be one of those games where it's a fucking heartbreaker, where it's one of those games where it's boiled down to the last 2 minutes of a game and somebody has too much time, is what I would think. Like you don't give Tom Brady 2 minutes, you don't give Aaron Rodgers 2 minutes. That's the type of game that it would be. And one of those guys would have the football, and whoever has the football in the last 30 seconds wins that game. But I would have to go based on both teams being healthy. Both teams being healthy, Tampa Bay has the better defense. I would have to go with Tampa Bay.
Brian, you got to come on, Brian. I'm not going to let this go. Brian, you got to click that link.
Brian is here. Here we go.
All right.
I'm right here. What's up, wave?
What's up, Brian? How you doing, little brother?
I'm great.
Oh.
You're doing great? Hey,
like
so let me ask you a question.
Bro.
Hey, no, Brian, I got a question for you. Okay. Why do you hate the Buccaneers so much, and what is it about the New Orleans Saints that you love so much? Please tell us.
Can I talk now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Because we have a coach that goes in here and trains his quarterbacks. We have a quarterback. He trains all his quarterbacks. Okay, your team had to go out and get Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski to come to save your team. You could have kept Jameis Winston. You guys could have trained him. He could have been a great quarterback for many years. Okay, Jameis Winston got hurt. Okay, when Sean Payton trains his quarterbacks, he trains them with a passion. He gives them a chance. He gives backup quarterbacks money to come to this team to play. It doesn't matter if he's a quarterback, a running back. These guys come in with a passion.
Brian, I love your passion, man. I gotta stop you here a second.
Let me explain.
Brian, I love your passion. I love your heat, my friend. I really do. And thank you for the kind words. I really do. I really do appreciate it. But what quarterback did Sean Payton train? The guy had Drew fucking Brees for 18 years, man. He didn't have to train anybody. Drew Brees had a cannon on his arm and just fit right into the system. Hold on. I think you're on mute there, bud. You're on mute.
That's a good thing.
All right. But not only that, Jameis Winston ran his course. He was on his 5th-year option out there and couldn't see an open wide receiver. That's why he threw 30 fucking picks. Let's get real here. So you can't. And who was the quarterback before Drew Brees? Aaron Brooks, right? And that guy, I think that's who it was, right? And Aaron Brooks had a cannon too. But Aaron Brooks was the same exact player as Jameis Winston.
Well, I mean, and I think Brian is trying to talk. We can't hear Brian.
Brian's pissed.
Brian, are you there?
Brian, we don't read lips really well. You got to hit the mute button.
He's pissed.
I can't hear you, Brian. Brian, are you there?
He just said, "Fuck you, Harry. I'm out."
All right, Brian's gone.
Okay. He said, "Fuck you, Harry. Fuck you, Fat Mike. I'm out of here."
All right, hold on. I think he's back.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there you are.
When Drew Brees came in,
like a bad rash. It just keeps coming back. Get a close up.
We had Hurricane Katrina down in New Orleans, and he went to a bad spot. And Sean Payton said, "This guy ain't going to come here." He had a hurt shoulder. Leg.
He had a hurt shoulder.
Nobody wanted him. Miami was going to take him. Miami said, "We ain't taking Drew Brees. We don't think he's anybody. He's nobody." So what happened was when Drew Brees
was somebody, he was a fucking highly touted pick out of Purdue.
Yes.
Well, hold on. Okay. Now, to that point, he is somewhat correct. Miami didn't take him because Nick Saban thought he was hurt. He went to New Orleans. Yeah. He developed.
So now, here's the Tom Brady situation. Here's the Tom Brady thing. If Drew Brees would have retired that year, Tom Brady went to the Bucs. He never would have went to the Bucs. He would have came to New Orleans with Rob Gronkowski, and there's what he would have been right there.
Okay, so you answered your question. You said at the first of it that Jameis Winston should have stayed in Tampa, but here's a kid that could not make good decisions when he was with the Bucs. He didn't fit in the offense, and Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. Wait a minute, Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. You're going to pass up on getting a Tom Brady to keep a Jameis Winston who you know is going to give you.
You know why? And Mike's going to agree with me. Jameis Winston. Let me explain. Let me talk real quick. Jameis Winston is a young guy. Tom Brady's an old guy. He's up in age now. Jameis Winston is going to play for 5, 6, 7 years. Tom Brady's only going to play for 2, 3 more years, and he's going to be gone.
Brian.
But hold on, Brian. In that 2 to 3 years, he might win 2 more fucking Super Bowls.
Right. I mean,
that's the difference. Jameis Winston is not a world beater. Jameis Winston is not the guy you want under center.
Right.
Plain and simple.
He's got potential.
He's not the guy you want under center. I'm sorry.
Pretty cat.
I like. I'm not a fan of Jameis Winston. I'm really not. I wasn't a fan of him when he came up. I wasn't a fan of him when he was down there in Tampa. I'm just not a fan. Anybody who throws fucking 30 interceptions shouldn't be in the NFL, in my opinion.
Right.
That's just me. Anybody who causes as many turnovers as he does points on the board should not be on an NFL football field.
Hey, Brian, what's that picture behind you, buddy? What's that stadium of? That's pretty cool.
Not mine.
Who?
That's what?
That ain't mine.
Oh, that's not. What is it?
Eagles.
It's Lincoln Financial. It's not mine.
Oh, Lincoln Financial.
All right.
I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Stay with the Bucs for 5 or 6 years, okay? He would have won the Super Bowl. I guarantee.
No.
He was with the Bucs for 5 or 6 years, Brian. He started out in 2015. They gave him until 2019. It couldn't work out. It didn't work out here. Whether it was no running game, whether it was offensive line, whatever else, you brought in a 43-year-old quarterback in 1 year to learn a new offense during a pandemic.
Well, Peter, I want to stop that too really quick. Yeah, he did learn a new offense, but you know just as much as I do last year, Tom Brady pulled Bruce up to the side. I was like, hey, Brucey, baby. Brucey, this is what I like to run. This is what we're going to run. I'm your offensive coordinator now. This is what we're going to run from here on out.
I would say, why not? I mean, both of those guys.
All right, so let's get to it a little bit.
Tom Brady for less money?
You broke up like 15 million different times there.
Do you think Tom Brady would have came here for less money?
To the
Tom
Saints?
Brady did come here.
No, to Tampa Bay.
He did come here for less money.
He did. He left the Patriots for less money.
I think, Brian, we can hear you better if you pull the phone a little closer to your face.
Hold on. You hear me now?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay,
I can hear you now.
with Brian Pearson here on the Sports
Hey,
Web, Saints
New
fan.
Orleans Saints, extraordinary guy that lives in the Bayou who roots for the Eagles and the Phillies.
Don't root for the Eagles. Sorry.
I thought you were a Philadelphia guy.
Yeah, Sixers, Flyers, and Phillies. That's it.
Oh, that's right. Flyers, Phillies. You were born in South
Flyers,
Jersey.
Man. Fuck the Flyers, bro.
And grew up in New Orleans.
By the way, Brian, they lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning last night. Just saying.
And they lost to the Hawks, baby. 2010, living it up.
There you go. But,
Brian, look.
But to your point, Sean Payton is a great coach. He has absolutely done a phenomenal job with the Teddy Bridgewater to get him a new deal with Carolina and, of course, the Denver Broncos. He's gotten the most out of them. Jameis Winston was playing well before he got injured. So I get what you're saying. But at the end of the day, if the choice comes down to a younger Winston or the greatest of all time behind door number 2 and Tom Brady, with the defense already intact with Gronkowski and Fournette and Antonio Brown, you're taking Brady all day long.
What it boils down to too is this: would you rather have somebody like Blake Bortles, or would you rather have somebody like Blake? I mean, think about it. Blake Bortles is in the same situation at year 4, year 5. Or would you rather have Aaron Rodgers?
You'd rather have Aaron Rodgers, of course.
And Brian, that's what I'm trying to say.
What I'm trying to say to you guys, you want a young guy in the system. You want a young quarterback in the system.
If he's capable of working the system.
Right. But that doesn't always work out, and it didn't work out here
and
with
it showed,
the Buccaneers.
Brian, the numbers are there. One thing that numbers don't do is lie, right? I mean, numbers don't lie. You have 30 touchdowns. Yeah, that's fucking fantastic. You have 5,000 yards. That's even more fantastic. But when you throw the ball 30 times to the opposing team, that's not fantastic.
No, and
no,
basically
that's a record that's never going to be broken.
Never
you should be proud of it. Hey, Brian, I have a question about the New Orleans Saints. For tomorrow's game, do you know who's actually starting at quarterback? Is Jameis Winston going to play? I don't think so. Is Taysom Hill or that third-string quarterback going to be playing? Do you know?
Probably Steven. Maybe.
Huh?
Oh,
it's probably going to be Ian Book, maybe, unless the other guy plays. We don't know yet.
So it's definitely not going to be Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston?
Well, Jameis Winston's out for the year, so he's not going to play.
Okay, that's right. He's got that torn ACL. I'm sorry about that. My bad.
That's not going to happen.
The torn ACL. But
Trevor Siemian.
It is Trevor Siemian. Hey, Brian, I had to introduce you to Fat Mike. I just wanted him to, to talk to you.
I got one
thing.
Huh? Yeah. Earlier, I want to say one thing.
Okay.
A little closer. I can't see you.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
When the Detroit Lions coach doesn't win another game, the coach that just got fired from the New York Giants will be the next Detroit Lions coach.
You think so?
Garrett?
So
Yeah.
Jason Garrett?
So. Dan Campbell's locked up for like 4 or 5 years.
No, Jason Garrett is not going to get another job as a
Brian, I promise you, if you make it a regular on Peter's show, which he's going to love you, we're going to give you some Deliverance dueling banjos music to come on. Okay, brother?
That's fine, man. It don't matter.
No, I thought you'd love it, though. Let me tell you something. This guy could take a beating, and I love that. That's why we like you, Brian Pearson.
Go ahead, Brian.
Tampa,
Final thoughts.
do you like the Tampa Bay Rays?
Of course. I don't like their ownership, but I like the Tampa Bay Rays. I like the Tampa Bay Lightning, but we cover other teams on here. We're open to Saints fans or whatever, whoever you root for. You root for the Flyers, the Sixers, whoever you want to root for. We're open here on the Sports Web. Brian, thanks a lot for your time.
But hold on, Brian. Do you like the Chicago Bears?
No.
And get them off.
Well, and you know what? Fuck you, Brian.
Yeah, really.
All right, Brian. Happy Thanksgiving.
I like Brian. I like Brian a lot. He's good people. I hope he's still listening.
All right, let's
Brian
go out. Let's go out to Roger Shue. Harry is God.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Harry is God. That's what.
Oh, my boy won some money.
I want to buy Harry Patillo's Italian beef.
Okay, you understand he's from Florida, right, Mike? We can forgive him.
I'm sorry.
Portillo's. It's Portillo's at Malaca.
Oh, yeah,
Portillo's. Big props to Brian. I can't even talk right now. Jamie says, what's up, guys? Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Jamie again. Wow, let's go out to this caller who called before. Here we go. Yeah! All right, Curtis from Newport Richie. Welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. What do you have to say, my friend?
So I just want to tell you something. That's probably the funniest 2 or 3 minutes I've ever had in my life.
Of course it is, buddy.
Brian is a good sport. I tell you right now. And he had some points.
Brian kicks ass.
Brian had some valid points.
I understand where he was coming from.
Sure.
Peter, y'all know I was a big Winston supporter.
Sure, we all were here.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing? Would you shut up?
30 interceptions. There's no coming back.
No, and I remember.
Can you hear me?
People right now from the Twilight Zone.
What the hell is Harry doing?
Harry, I don't know what Harry's
doing.
Can you
hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
I thought I saw a pretty cat.
I thought his mustache was going to crawl away on his face.
Hey, Curtis, what's happening up there in the place of no place really?
Well, I just got done smoking me a joint from the dispensary.
My man. Curtis, my man.
I swear to God, these callers are the best. I mean,
this show goes off the rails as soon as Fat Mike comes on. I tell a caller to go fuck himself, and then now we're smoking weed.
In the next 20 minutes, I might have me a little female company.
Wait a minute, I'm so excited.
Curtis, what's his name?
Huh?
What's his name?
Oh, Harry the Greek.
Oh. Wait a minute.
How about no?
Hold on, Curtis. Are you looking into the camera? Can you see me? Make me full screen.
All right,
full screen. All
right, go ahead.
I got something for you. Hold on, bro. It's right here. Hold on.
Oh Jesus! What are you doing?
Oh, hold on. Hang on.
Brett
Hang on,
Favre,
Brett.
open fly jeans.
Oh, God.
Oh
my God!
Brett Favre, open fly jeans.
Yes. I'm gonna say this, sir. I don't like boy pussy. Okay.
Oh. Curtis, how the hell you doing, little brother? Hey, I got a couple of questions for you since we got Curtis on the phone. He's one of the few people that I can talk to that actually knows a little bit of something about the game. No pun intended, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You got Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions tomorrow. The Bears are 3-point favorite. Andy Dalton's at quarterback. Detroit, they have no idea who they're playing. Who do you like and why?
I just had this conversation with Fat Mike, and I just told him that it's going to be a really good game. But I like the Chicago because of their defense. But I'm still waiting for Detroit to surprise us all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they ain't going to surprise anybody. I had them surprising everybody and shocked the world when they were supposed to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. It didn't happen. It ended up in a tie. Next game, Raiders at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is -7.5, going to be -8. Who do you like?
I like the Raiders.
So do I. Getting the points, kind of. But I'm going to give those picks here in a little bit. And before you get off the phone, Buffalo at New Orleans. And our insider, Mr. Brian Pearson from New Orleans, told us that Trevor Siemian is going to be playing quarterback.
Since I heard what Brian said, and Sean Payton is a quarterback guru.
Anyway, but anyway, New Orleans is getting.
Hey, you don't need to be a guru when you got Drew Brees. Like, come on, are you serious? It's not like he's doing what Lincoln Riley's doing over there in Oklahoma. He took Jalen Hurts, and he pretty much made this guy a starting NFL quarterback.
I understand. Who do you like there? Buffalo laying the 7 points or New Orleans getting the 7 points?
Well, only reason I'm picking Buffalo is because, I want New Orleans to lose every game, so they don't even have a chance in the division.
Okay.
I just wanted to hear that. I like Buffalo in this game. Let's go out to some of these comments here really quick. Actually, we'll hold off on the comments. Curtis, what else?
Man, it's just I just had to call about Brian, man. I was in tears in there last.
All right, so we'll get Brian back on the show some other time. Good stuff, Curtis. Appreciate you. Let me go ahead and give you that woo.
Hey, Brian, not Brian. Hey, Curtis.
Yeah.
Curtis, you still there? You still there?
Yeah,
Can you see your screen?
Yeah, I can. What is wrong with you?
All right.
You know what?
It's the Greek, bro. It's the Greek.
You know what? One of these days, the four of us are going to hang out, and I think Harry, you're going to be the attention-getting person in the party.
I tell you right now, Harry is somebody to definitely want to hang out with, and it's so funny, Curtis, because Curtis and Roger Shue are in the same area of Newport Richie. In fact, Roger is on hold right now, so we all got to definitely get together sometime.
No, for real. No,
Yes.
We do got to get together. Seriously, the beers are on me. The wings are on me. The only thing that would make it better is if we all flew to Chicago and hung out with that fat mother sitting right over here.
Yeah,
Trust me.
How about if the Bucs get a home playoff game, we get the fat mother to come to Tampa and we just hang out near the stadium for the playoff game.
There you go. That sounds good.
As long as
How about this?
Team's jersey, I'm in.
How about this? I get the tickets and we all go.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, here's the thing. Now, I work for some platforms here, so I may have.
That's overrated.
When it comes to the Bucs, we don't care about your damn platforms. Okay.
Oh, we got to care about it.
We love you, but damn the platforms. Okay.
All right, Curtis. Thanks.
We got some good platforms, Curtis.
Happy thanks. Shut up about platforms.
Hold on. You know I love you guys to death.
Yes.
I love you guys to death.
Oh, God damn. You're going to have to you better post this, buddy. You see that last comment from Brian Pearson?
Oh, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it in a moment.
I didn't see it.
Let's go on to the comments here. Hold on a sec. Jamie says, "What's up, guys? Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Jameis would never win a Super Bowl with the Bucs. He'll never win a Super Bowl ever." Christopher Cole says Winston was a ticking time bomb. Roger Shue, he's in his mom's basement. Brian,
no, I am not. I'm in my own office.
No, I think Roger's saying that about Brian.
Leave Brian alone.
Yeah, okay. Wait till you read the last part. You tell me.
I said Portillo's, not my fault. Pete can't read. Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan legend, SC. I can't hear Harry. Get to the camera closer. How about no?
How about no?
Brian Pearson. Harry the Greek, you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, but you're wearing the Chicago Bears. Sure, that's a bandwagon fan, just to let you know.
All right, Fat Mike. I'm going to let you take over and defend me on that one, sir.
Yeah. Harry's as South Side as they come, man. He's just like me. We're South Side all day long.
You know what Brian's problem is? I'm going to tell y'all what Brian's problem is. The Saints, for the last 5 or 6 years before last year, they were a Super Bowl favorite and they've been bust every year. That's what he's angry
since
about.
2017. You're exactly right.
You know what? So you know what, Brian? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be an asshole, or for my Spanish brothers, a pendejo.
Pendejo.
Cry me a freaking river, okay? I don't want to hear. So you know what? Tell Sean Payton in all his glory to take his one Super Bowl ring, shine it up, turn it sideways, and shove it with a sun.
What is your name?
I told you.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Listen.
I still like Sean Payton, though. I wish he was part of the
Agreed.
Bears
I love
organization.
Sean Payton. You love him, dude. He's a great coach. He's a great guy.
And he's from Naperville. He's from Chicago, like area.
No, they're nothing but a bunch of rich little. You know what I'm talking about. But Brian, you're a Malacca. You know what a Malacca is? Google it.
Oh my God! All right, Curtis.
Hey,
thanks a lot for
put
the
Troy
call.
Polamalu on the thing here.
Yeah,
Fuck
love
you, Troy
Troy.
Polamalu. Put him on there.
all right, Curtis. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's go out to
Put him on there.
Here we go.
Get him on this fucking thing. I want to talk to him.
All right, Roger Shue, you're on with yours truly, Harry the Greek, and of course, Fat Mike from 1252 Sports. What do you have to say?
All right. First of all, the Harry and Mike, you got my condolences. I'm sorry you're from the South Side. I'm North Side forever.
No, you didn't let me finish. Raj. I'm
No,
a Southside
Roger,
guy, Northside
don't believe his bullshit, okay,
I'm a
Roger?
diehard Cub fan.
He is not. He is not. He lives, eats, and sleeps Chicago White Sox.
Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Uh-oh.
Right there, baby.
You're a Sox fan?
No, I am.
I just fucking pointed at my banners. Oh, you're talking to Harry. Yeah,
Harry's
Harry's a Sox fan.
Yes.
Oh, Harry, you just crushed my dreams.
That's okay, buddy. I'll be there. I'll be there tonight. Roger, how are you, bro? Where's my barbecue, bro?
What the hell is going on? Roger, would you answer the man's question?
Where the fuck is this barbecue?
There's no good barbecue in Florida. Are you crazy?
Oh my God. I don't know what to say at this point.
Hey, you asked for him to be on, okay?
Yeah.
This show's gone, bro.
No, there just needs to be 3 red letters across my fucking screen. Just ban. BAN.
Not at all. Not at all. Love these guys.
This honestly has been the best show Peter's done since the Super Bowl.
Shut up.
Oh, come on. Peter's done a lot of good shit, man.
Shut up!
Peter's show is awesome, and I hate the fucking Bucs, and I still watch his show. It's a great
Thanks,
show.
man. I appreciate it.
Roger, seriously, Roger, thank you so much for all the kind words that you always leave on my shows. No matter what platform I'm on, Roger, you always follow it. You are the consummate gentleman. I know you've always been a Chicago guy. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting Peter. And I'll tell you what, man, it's always an honor to have you. And I've never actually talked to you online yet, which is awesome. And I really hope you could do it more often. I love the troll that you are, but you know what? We know you got love because I know you're a Southsider as well.
No, I'm not. Never.
Well, here's the thing.
You know what I mean. You're a Bear fan.
He gave $100 tonight. He was the first guy on the Super Chats for YouTube monetization to give $100 tonight. So that was very cool by Roger Shue. And of course, Roger Shue, one of my good buddies, the tribal troll here from Newport Richie, has seen me grow, has seen me evolve. So once again, appreciate you, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you soon. All right.
All right. You guys all have a great night. And again, happy Thanksgiving. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
Happy Thanksgiving. Hey, can you give me?
Bud.
Hey, Roger, can you do me a favor?
He's gone.
Oh, Roger.
You ever seen? Obviously, you guys have seen Vacation, right?
You
know what, Clark? I'm just struggling a little bit. You know, if you could spare a little, sure, Eddie. How much you need? About $52,000. Chevy Chase is sitting there opening up his wallet. She's like, "Sure, Eddie. How much you need? $52,000.
I'll write a check. Yeah. I'll take
It's
it out of my Christmas bonus. It's a great movie. Absolutely great movie. Okay, so we read that. What is Harry doing? Is Harry frozen?
No, I just wanted to say that.
Holy shit. That was crazy. Southside, why do you have a Cubs logo around you?
This is why, Troy Polamalu. All right, if that is your real name.
That is his really name.
He usually goes by Antonio Brown or the Bucs Report president. I know.
No, he doesn't. No, he does not.
That is him. That is him. This is this guy.
Listen, I wasn't able to finish what I said. I'm a South Side guy with North Side ties, but Harry's about as South Side as they come. This guy,
the South Sider.
He knows Chicago. This guy, I love talking to him Chicago sports. So anybody who thinks he's what did Brian said that you're a bandwagon guy? He is not a bandwagon guy.
No, he's definitely not. No bandwagon in here. South Side.
Halstead. Yeah, Halstead.
Yes,
just to let you know, Halstead is where Peter finds his women. And that's part of Greektown, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well,
where all the women have Adam's apples and a beard thicker than Peter's.
Don't make me kick you guys out. When it's all said and done, the New Orleans Saints will win the 5th NFC South title again if they are still a way to win. If there's still a will, there's a way.
If there's a will, there's a way.
Okay, and they can win the division title all day long. In fact, they won it last year and still lost in the playoffs. So that's what you get. That's why they're making Sean Payton movie on Netflix. What did Tampa Bay coach ever get? Nothing, no movie, nothing. Okay, fine. Fat Mike and Harry, would you take Cousins as your Bears starter if it means you replace Nagy but lose Fields? Go.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
No.
No, because
No.
Go ahead, I'll let you take it first.
No.
Why?
No.
No.
Just no.
Hey, no.
No. Okay.
Did I say? Hey,
How
me.
about no?
No.
How about no?
All right.
Hold on. I'll give him a reason. Stand by.
Go ahead. Write them down.
No. Here. What does that say? No. Okay. No.
How about no?
Let me explain to you why. Kirk Cousins is one of the worst primetime quarterbacks of all time. Number one, he reminds me of an unpolished Rex Grossman. And Rex Grossman wasn't really a very good quarterback for the Chicago Bears, even though I really loved me some Rex Grossman. Peter Blake, I know you're an FSU fan, and I'm really sorry about that. But seriously, he's this Peter?
Peter, if you fart again, I swear to fucking Christ.
Yeah, there you go. No, but seriously, the Chicago Bears would not ever, Kirk Cousins, I clamored for him when they were leaving Washington. I was like, please come to Chicago. And it was a blessing that he didn't come because I got to watch how good he was for Minnesota. Bro, let's think about it. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, a really good tight end, and you have arguably the best running back in the National Football League. How are you not in first place in this division? Oh, I'll tell you why. The guy's having a career year and they still suck.
Well, there you go.
Listen, Harry, this is a team game now. All right, that defense hasn't helped him out at all either. All right, each spot that he's been, Washington's a shit show for fucking since 1989. All right, and the Minnesota Vikings, their defense is what should have been phenomenal, has just dramatically has been on the regress stage for the last 5 years. I mean, I'm not knocking Kirk Cousins. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback by any stretch, but is he a serviceable quarterback that can win you a Super Bowl? Yeah. If he has the players around him, you put a defense behind that Vikings team, they may possibly be winning the division right now in the NFC North.
Okay, and that's a really good point. So let me come back and on a serious note now. What happened to that? What was the excuse 2 years ago when they did have a defense before they decided to break it all down? And they still had a really top flight offense. He is not the quarterback that everybody thinks that he is. First off, he's too short to play quarterback in the National Football League.
So is Drew Brees.
I understand that, but you can't compare the two of them. And that's where scheme comes into something. Well, when Drew Brees came out of Purdue and he went to the Chargers, everybody remembers that, correct?
Yeah.
He didn't have a very illustrious career. And then he had that terrible injury.
He got hurt.
Then he had that terrible injury. And then he went to the New Orleans Saints and went under the tutelage of Mr. Payton himself. Okay, who really works well in that system. And it also goes just like Mac Jones from the University of Alabama. He's not a stud quarterback. He's in the perfect system. Stud quarterbacks are anomalies like Justin Herbert that's coming out of the Chargers. He would flourish in anybody's system. Let's be honest.
Except Chicago Bears.
System. That's not true.
There is not one quarterback in the NFL that would flourish in the NFL underneath the Chicago Bears tutelage.
Well,
yeah, there would be. There would be one.
And not with the
you could put fucking Tom Brady back there, and Tom Brady would be broken in half.
Well, that's
no, I know that.
Right, that's probably the reason why Tom Brady didn't choose the Bears in the.
That's what I'm saying. So, like you got to understand. I like Mike Zimmer a lot, so I think Mike Zimmer is a very good head coach. All right, but what he tried to build up there defensively did not pan out.
Nope.
It just didn't pan out. I love Anthony Barr. I really like Anthony Barr a lot. Anthony Barr can't stay healthy. All right, Xavier Rhodes, a cornerback that they drafted, another one cannot stay healthy. All right, it's almost the same thing with the Detroit Lions. They had Darius Slay, and then they just picked up another guy who can't stay healthy. Same thing with the Chargers. Erwin James can't stay healthy. If those guys stay healthy, you're talking about a whole different type of team than what they are.
Yeah.
And that's legit. If Erwin James stays healthy, that Chargers team may possibly, if Erwin James and Bosa stay healthy, that Los Angeles Chargers team may possibly be really fighting the Chiefs if the Chiefs were healthy for the divisional spot.
You're right, exactly right. And that defense has fallen on some hard times. And of course, Bosa being off injured, and of course, Derwin James coming out of Florida State. A lot of Bucs fans wanted him instead of Vita Vea.
Right.
I think
Vita Vea is a fucking stud, though. I mean, you can't go wrong with Vita Vea.
He's a monster. He's 345, 360, and he's just
that guy's baby.
He's a monster. So I'll tell you what, we've been burning it up here. Let me go ahead and read some of these comments, and then we'll get you guys out of here for Thanksgiving. Appreciate it once again. So we read that. Christopher Cole says, Cubs fan here. Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan Legend SC. Uncle Harry, I need a connection with a Greek woman. Can you help him out?
Troy,
yes, I got you.
Faz kata malaka.
Okay, I don't know what you just said, but
it means eat my ass from the back.
No, it actually is close. It kind of means that. No, Troy, seriously, you want a Greek woman, go to Tarpon Springs and get them before they're 25. Trust me.
Oh my gosh! All right,
chain them to the stove.
Will you shut up and be quiet? Oh, Bears don't get prime time, so it doesn't matter.
That's true.
Sure they do. They got prime time games.
Everybody matters here on the Sports Web because all the fans and all the correspondents are stars on the evolution of sports talk television. Cousins got, you like that saying from facing the Mike Smith defense. Of course, who could forget that, Bucs fans, when the Bucs were up 24-0 and they end up losing to Kirk Cousins and the Washington football team. I'm going to get you out of here on this. Once again, Fat Mike, go ahead and promote yourself, what you're doing over there at 1252. Love it.
Yeah, you guys just come follow us over at 1252 Sports. We're here almost every single night of the week, Sunday through Sunday. I mean, we got David Schuster and the Schuster Express, Fred Hubner, Hube's Views and Brews. We got My Stupid Ass Show. We got Harry's show, the Over Under with the Greek here. We got the Fantasy Show. We got Jacob Charno starting on Sundays talking everything football. We got Alan Bratcher with Bears Fans with a Brain. It's a great time. Come follow us. It's not just Chicago. We do talk all football, especially the Fantasy Show, and especially with Jacob Charno, and especially with Harry the Greek. So if you guys want to make some money, come follow us. And yeah, we're at 1252.
All right, give me a quick prediction really quick here, Fat Mike. Bears versus the Lions. Bears get it done tomorrow?
No, I'm taking the Lions. I'm going to take the Lions 10-6.
You're so full of shit.
10-6 Lions.
Sounds like a snore fest there, but of course that would work hand in hand with Thanksgiving. Yes, Harry the Greek, what do you have to say?
Hello, Megs. Oh, yeah. Megan, yeah. Mike doesn't get anything for the next 3. Oh, I'm live. Mike doesn't get anything for the next 3 weeks. Yeah, that's right. Don't worry. I got a little something extra for your Christmas card. Bye, sweetheart.
All right, Terry the Greek, go ahead and once again promote yourself and give us the pick of the day for Thanksgiving. Do you parlay all those 3 games? Can you parlay?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
That'd be a tough parlay because these games suck.
Seriously, these games are going to be a little bit tough today, but coming up, first off, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and make sure you really, really tell that person you're closest with, give them a hug, tell them how much you love them, and give thanks to not only God himself, but to everybody that's around you. We can make a lot of fun and we can crack jokes with everybody else, but when it all comes down to it, we're just one big happy family. And make sure you tell someone that you care and you love them very much, because that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for everybody that's around me in my life who supported me with everything I've done. I thank my father who's already gone away and he's in heaven looking down upon me and he's very happy with what he's seeing. At least I hope so.
Me too. I'm saying
my 87-year-old mother, she doesn't know that she's 87. She still thinks she's 77. Okay. But make sure everybody has a safe holiday and be responsible. To everybody and every platform I've been on, thank you for giving me that opportunity. So those are the things I'm thankful for. So let me give you something that I think. Not because I'm wearing the C and I'm a homer for the Chicago Bears. They're a cinch tomorrow. Lay the 3 points against Detroit. If you want to get creative, play the under 42.5. I'm not a big proponent of it. I still think Chicago scores 27 points in this game. I don't think Detroit's really going to score that much. The Raiders at Dallas, okay, if you wait long enough and you like the road team here getting the points, because it's a lot, because you really don't know what Dallas team you're getting. The Raiders are going to get up to 8 points, and the total's 51.5. I don't really know which way to turn. But after talking to Brian Pearson, lay the points in Buffalo. Lay the 7 points. I was going to take New Orleans, but I don't like Trevor Siemian as a quarterback. He's only good enough to beat the Buccaneers.
There you go. Good stuff. Harry the Greek, 1252 Sports. Fat Mike, 1252 Sports. Of course, Harry and Pete on Friday night, 9 o'clock, 1252. The over-under. Thanks a lot for your time, guys. And once again, happy Thanksgiving to both of you.
Happy Thanksgiving, Peter. And don't forget, everybody, keep your bets low and your returns high. I'm your host, Harry the Greek, on the over-under on 1252 Sports. We'll see you Friday night.
All right,
I'm
guys.
a bud, fat.
See you guys. See ya. All right, there you go. Stand by. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break. And then when we come back, we're going to play the latest from the Shooter and Stash here. Of course, We the Thunder podcast here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. By the way, happy Thanksgiving Eve.
Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Tampa Bay Bucs Super Bowl 55 champ Shaq Barrett coming at you live for NSPN Next Gen Sports. Go like and follow NSPN for total coverage of all team and combat sports, live shows, plus exclusive player interviews and unprecedented sports content creation.
Aren't you loving life in Tampa Bay? Nothing like being defending Super Bowl champs, Stanley Cup champions, American League champions. This is Outkick. Join me every Sunday morning at 10. Let's talk our teams in the hottest sports market in the country. Never too early to talk Buccaneers or check in on all the teams in Tampa Bay. It will be your best hour of sports. The Outkick Show, powered by Guerrilla Marketing. Sunday mornings at 10 on 102.5 The Bone. Sports media has evolved. Introducing NSPN Next Gen Sports, your number one source for all team and combat sports. Live shows, breaking news, esports tournaments, and interactive sports content like never before. Like and follow NSPN on our Facebook page for your chance at this month's fan giveaway contest. And tune in every Sunday at noon for exclusive video access to my Outkick Show interview. NSPN Next Gen Sports. Outkick here. I have to tell you about my amazing pampered experience at Daniela LaCorey Styling Studio. First of all, I love what she did with my hair, but it's the entire experience that truly sets her apart. You walk in and chances are she's playing your favorite music because she cares. She pours you your favorite adult beverage because she cares. It's gone from haircut to a truly relaxing time only at Daniela LaCorey Styling Studio. Haircuts, men and women, full spa treatments, hair color. Get it all with Daniela. Check her out on Instagram at Daniela LaCorey or book her on the Booksy app at ladybarberdaniela.booksy.com. Tell her how Keck sent you and get $10 off your first service, plus neck and shoulder massage. Daniela LaCorey Styling Studio.
All right, guys, welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's get out to it here from Shooter and Stash. Once again, thanks a lot for tuning in on this Thanksgiving Eve. We'll get out of here, but on the lighter side of it, we're going to go out to Shooter and Stash here. Stand by on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Here we go. Welcome to my humble abode as we celebrate another Tampa Bay Thanksgiving.
Once my lease is up on my house, I'm gonna host a Split City Thanksgiving. I had a sign made to promote the idea.
Are you kidding me, guy? Number one bullshit right there. So why don't all the athletes come to this dinner? The players can get quite wild. Remember those boat parades? We're going to keep some of them in the back room for now. Some are outside.
Why are my Rays players all outside? They can't eat inside?
Well, you'll have to win a championship or two for that to happen, Stu.
That's okay. We'll trade them soon anyway. Hey, Tom Brady, when you retire, do you want to pitch for the Rays? Add another first-year resume. You could be the first Split City champion.
No thanks, Stu. I already turned down baseball in Montreal once, and you see how that turned out. Plus, I like Tampa.
Baseball can't exist in Tampa Bay.
We don't have any problems selling out Emily.
Ray J's been rocking.
It's too hot here to even go to Bucs games. In fact, why don't I sell you the Trop's roof once we move out?
Sure, if it fits. How much?
Only $500 million. And the rights to Brady and Gronk.
And that makes bullshit number 2. Hey, where's Bruce Arians? Is he circumventing Thanksgiving dinner? No, he won't be in attendance. He told me to take full control while he sits back and relaxes. That's kind of how we do it. Yeah, it's true. Tom even decided the menu, decor, guest list. He even told me what to wear. Let's fucking go.
Another reason why moving the Rays to Tampa won't work. Bruce won't even drive across the bridge to come to dinner.
You know, Stu, I can pull some strings and find you a place near Water Street in Tampa for your stadium.
I would have to take out a loan to build a new stadium. Times are tough. I'm down to 4 homes. Sold all my boats. Can't get anyone to work for me. And Mets season tickets prices are up. Can you believe that? Unless you'd like to write me a check, Jeffrey.
Ho, 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 ho. That's number 3 bullshit. You're talking to the best guy in Tampa. No, in USA. No, in world. Well, maybe not Russia. I've seen enough of this guy. Patty Maroon. Take this motherfucker out of here.
Hey, man, you need a new do. How about some Letty dressing? That's a major penalty for owner misconduct.
I guess 3 bullshits and you're out of Tampa Bay. All right, guys, welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. I'm your host, Peter Blake, live here on NSPN. And, of course, I love St. Pete. Thanks to Harry the Greek, Denis Phillips of ABC Action News. Once again, Harry the Greek of 1252 Sports, Fat Mike of 1252 Sports. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's close off with this. What am I thankful for? You guys. I am thankful for fans like you. You are the lifeblood that makes the sports web go. You are the reason why when I opened up the show tonight, I was able to monetize on YouTube. And you are the reason why I continue to do the evolution of Sports Talk Television on a nightly basis. We'll get you ready for Bucs versus the Colts on Sunday, live from Ducky Sports Lounge, 1719 West Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. Guys, have a safe holiday. We'll see you on Sunday and do 3 things for me on this Thanksgiving Eve. Oh, baby. Football, Thanksgiving turkey, ham, whatever you choose. Maybe some homemade macaroni and cheese. And, of course, don't forget those yams. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Have a great night.
Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. St. Pete Key Tag